Hey guys, how's it going? Happy Thanksgiving, or should I say, white colonialist, genocidal, uh, white person day, I guess. Don't forget what we did to the Aboriginals right now. I think that's the important thing that we should all remember. That's pretty much what's going on in America right now. I like how they took away Columbus Day and are trying to replace it with Indigenous People Day because they're celebrating the discovery of America, right? Of Columbus discovering America, and that happened on a certain day. So now they're like, no, no, we're just going to take that away. We're going to replace it. That you could still have an Indigenous People Day with also having a Columbus Day, but no, no, no. They want to condemn that because it was bad that they came and stole the land. Is the audio bad right now? Is it having difficulties? Condemn that because okay, well, hopefully not. Maybe I'll move it a little bit further away. I don't know. Maybe it's crackling. But how's it going, Faye Knox? How's it going, Kaz Raging? Hey, Julie Mora. I felt like an evil oppressor when I woke up today. I think we all do. I think we've all internalized what we've done, the horrible things that we've done to Canada, and the terrible place that we've made it, so that all of these people from all over the world want to come and live here. I do feel bad about that. I feel I wake up oftentimes in the middle of the night in sweats, like panting and heaving and whatnot, because it's terrible what we've done. But I got a couple videos. I got one from what was it, the National from CBC, and what is it titled again? It's the double-edged sword of addressing identity in politics, and it's that blonde lady, Wendy Mesley, and I thought it was kind of interesting back and forth that she had with the mayor of Alberta and how difficult it is being a minority in Canada and how hard they have it. It's funny seeing these people and positions of power, like being the mayor of Alberta, or I mean Calgary, multiple times in a row, and still complain about how hard it is and how much racism you have to go through each and every day. And the racism they're complaining about is like, well, the media always asks me about events and have to do with Muslims, even though I'm not an imam. It's all these like microaggressions, right? It's stupid, ridiculous shit. Hey, Wade the Canadian, how's it going, buddy? Hey, Raisin Sack. I like your name, by the way. It's a pretty good name. Rogan's thumbs up. But I got that and a few other videos and maybe a couple articles and whatnot to go over. But everybody so far who's in the chat, happy Thanksgiving. I hope that later on today, if you're not already with your family, you guys have a great time. As opposed, don't dwell on the horrible things we've done. Just be happy to be with your family, and that they're all there and alive and well at this point in time. It's time to be thankful for things, right? Hey, son of Rambo. Well, thanks everybody for joining me so far. Hit the like, share button, all that good stuff. But I also have another article from Forbes saying that one of the best places to why Pakistan should be on every solo female traveler's bucket list. It's like they really want Western women to be killed in the Middle East or something. Like, is this their goal, to get unsuspecting, stupid, dumb white girls to go over to dangerous countries to be killed by jihadists or something? Like, Pakistan, really, Pakistan. You're like, the mountains of Afghanistan and Pakistan. Soon they're going to be recommending the border of Syria and Turkey. Oh, this is a great destination to go biking right on the border. That's the safe zone they're trying to create right now. Speaking of that, I have another video that shows ABC using a clip from like a gun show in America as a clip of this battle that's going on in Syria, like a blatant it's the exact same thing. They just kind of darken the clip a little bit. But are they going to be called out on this? We'll see. The media does a lot of fake news bullshit like that continuously, but it never gets called out on it. They're only ever going to focus on the few fake news stories on the right, and right wingers sharing old news stories. Hey Chase, how's it going? Hey Lauren, happy Thanksgiving to you too. I wish they would send Elizabeth May over there. Yeah, they should deport Elizabeth May. She is an American. Why is she even running? She's there just to, I don't know, bolster the liberals a lot of the times and defend them. Because that's what it does in the public eye, right? When you have other political parties on stage and giving props to another political party, then that has an effect on people's mind. They see that and are like, okay, Trudeau must be pretty good if he's getting praise from the liberals and Elizabeth May and this party who's patting him on the back, whatnot. She's a fan of Omar Kadar. Yeah, and the way she talks about old stock Canadians. It's like, fuck you. Like, oh, you fucking old stock Canadians. Like, you're barely Canadian, so fuck you, you dumb bitch. A lot of people on stage are barely Canadian. The fact the USA backstabbed the Kurds tell everything. The Kurds are the ones who stopped ISIS. Well, I don't know enough about the Syrian conflict, but pulling out of the Middle East and Syria, in my estimation, seems like a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea to stay in these countries. I don't know what the argument is. Like, oh, it's going to be worse once you leave. But, how long are they supposed to stay in there? Because that's the argument. It's like they're going to stay in there for another 10 years because it's never going to be right for them to leave and shit, right? So I don't know. But like I said, I'm not fully aware, or I don't know every single thing that's going on in that part of the country. But when I see people like Lindsey Graham losing his shit, when I see leftists, when I see CNN, and they're all agreeing with each other that it's a bad thing, then I'm probably like, it's probably a good thing. The last time that they gave Trump a pat on the back was when he shot some nukes, or I mean, not nukes, but missiles into Syria. And this is the only time they were all in agreement with each other. And like, oh, finally, he's looking like a president. Finally, Trump is looking like a president because he's shooting missiles in another country. So, yeah, I'm not a warmonger or a neocon whatsoever. And, staying in Syria, yeah, like it's a Jewish war. We got to stop fighting wars for Israel. Like this whole shit with Iran, that's for the protection of Israel. The whole shit in Syria, the Golan Heights, that's because of Israel. Also with Palestine, going in there and how they're being screwed over. Like a lot of these people can barely even get spices to put on their food because they're like, oh, they'll make bombs out of them. So it's like, fuck Israel. At the end of the day, they can go to hell. They should be able to stand on their own 2 feet. They should be able to take care of themselves. But instead of taking money from the rest of the world and using this like guilt, oh, but the Holocaust and the Holocaust, and you need to give us money because if you don't, that's anti-Semitic. And if you criticize us, that's also anti-Semitic because we should be allowed to defend our border and keep our country full of Jews and ethnically demographic the same or whatnot. But you can't question them whatsoever. But clearly these wars are not in our best interest. They're doing nothing for Americans, Canadians, Europeans. All they're really doing is opening the floodgates to let in a lot of Middle Easterners into the country, just like Obama did with Libya. in what's his name, Gaddafi was warning America, saying like, hey, if you take me out, you're gonna have a flood of people coming through my country into Europe. I'm the only person keeping these people out. And what does he do? They do a regime change, and now there's a bunch of Africans crossing through Libya, also being enslaved on the way there. So it's like, great job. I can't wait to suppress you, AJ. Stares at screen, feeling it. Nobody wants to colonize Syria. You never get to Gen 4 warfare in the Middle East. The only people who want to live there is the Muzzies. Yeah, right. Nobody wants to live there, but they're trying. It's for resources a lot of the times, and Syria or Israel expanding their territory and making sure that they're completely safe. They want to take out all the countries that surround them that pose a threat in their minds to them. Share our Western Christian, to some degree, don't believe that Judeo-Christian value bullshit. That's a whole thing made up in the 1940s or 30s in order to get Christians to be more sympathetic to Jewish people. But it's made up nonsense. Jewish people and Christians have different values. They believe different things. I read this whole article from, it was like this Jewish guy who was like, this whole Judeo-Christian thing is bullshit. We don't share the same values. He's like, not blah, blah, blah. And this is coming from like the Jerusalem Post or something like that. So, yes, I'm for the right of any country, including Israel, to have, say in who comes in and who leaves their country. But I'm also not for me giving them a ton of my money to do this and do that. I'm not for this whole guilt trip that they do on countries to get, like they do on to Germany and whatnot, to get their money. So if you can take care of yourself, right? They should have never put Israel there to begin with, because that's just going to, doing that to begin with is what just created a lot of issues that we're facing with now. If they never moved those people and said, "Oh, this is the ancient home of the Israelis because of the Bible," it's like, fuck your stupid Bible. Sorry to say, like, fuck what your holy book says. If people are living there, and then you're like, "Oh, okay, now I'm gonna come in and put these people here, and it's gonna be all good and cool." What are you, stupid? Of course that's gonna be. You're gonna have the Palestinian people are gonna be like, "Hey, this is our place. We've been living here for like hundreds of years." Like, you don't have a claim to this. But whatever, right? Yeah, unsubscribe, man. I don't give a shit. No, you're not pro neocon and pro Israel, and you're not a Zionist. Hey, man, I don't hate Jewish people. I'm fine with Jewish people. Like I said, they can have their homeland. At this point in time, I don't think it's a good idea to move them and say like, okay, well, they have to go. What's done is done. But I'm not going to continue giving my money, or I don't want to keep helping this place or this country that steals secrets from Canada, from America, and then sells those to the Chinese and all this other crap. But whatever, right? Don't be critical of Israel. That's terrible. Anybody unsubscribe if you don't like what I'm saying, man. I don't give a shit, man. Subscribe, unsubscribe. I'm not going to moderate or change the things that I say because it makes you feel uncomfortable. I've lost more subs than a lot of people have, man. I've lost thousands of subs, man. I'm telling you, like, I don't give two shits who fucking stays and who doesn't stay, right? But I still thank you, everybody who does stay, though, and who's willing to subscribe and share and like my content. Like, I appreciate, don't get me wrong, I appreciate that, but I'm not going to pander to people because they don't like what the fuck I'm saying. Someone has yeah, exactly. It's like it's my opinion. It's my honest opinion. I'm not trying to be hateful. I'm not trying to be mean to people. I'm not trying to do this or that. No, I'm not going to shave my mustache. Fuck you, Lauren. Bitch. You're going to put in timeout soon. You're going to put timeout. No, I'm kidding. But here, I'll watch that thing with, the CBC, because I thought it was kind of interesting. So I'll share that since everybody's here. I'm never going to shave that. I should just shave my mustache, right? So I'd look like a Muslim. I look like a complete jihadist. But that's what you want. That's what you want me to look like, because you're trying to, I don't know, ruin my credibility. Some shit like that. You're trying to ruin my name, my good name. You loves BUAJ. Woo. You hurts my fifis. Unsubscribe. Yeah, fuck you, goat man. Fuck you. AJ is the man. Oh, thank you, man. I'm not gonna get too much into personal business, Michael. Where's my wrench? I took everybody's wrench away. Because, I'm just done with it. I don't want people to ban people or put them in timeout, and then I get other people complaining to me that I'm like putting them in timeout, and I'm like, whatever. I'm just gonna take it away. And then sometimes I see people putting other people in timeout where I'm like, they didn't say enough to warrant anything like that. Then I get the accusation, you don't care about free speech. You don't care about free speech. Well, it's like, whatever, okay? If you get banned, if you get put in timeout, it's because of me, right? And just so you know that. Hey, Maiden, how's it going? How's Thanksgiving for you so far? Well, not too bad. I'll probably go to my family's later on today, after the stream, but not too bad. I hope yours is going well as well. Schofield Bible, 1800s, Darbyism is fake news. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Take everybody's wrench except for me. I'm special. Maybe I'll give one person a wrench. I'll give it to BM, right? I'll give him the wrench. No, that'll just piss a lot of people off. Here, I'll watch this with you guys.
The issue of racism dominated election coverage this week.
Those in the Black community have told me that how much more love they have for the Prime Minister, that he wanted to have a Black, he took great pride in that too.
A long-time Liberal candidate is apologizing tonight for a statement she now acknowledges is offensive.
Quebec media has uncovered Islamophobic and racist social media posts by some of the Bloc Québécois candidates.
Trudeau was also again addressing why he wore blackface in the past.
Why did you paint your face brown?
Ooh, for me, this is exactly why.
Why did you paint your face brown? But I love how Trudeau and his cabinet and his MPs do and say a bunch of racist stuff. And now all of Canada needs to have a discussion about racism and the issues of racism and all this crap. How do they turn this around instead of shitting on Trudeau for the stuff that he does as an individual? We're now going to turn this around on all of Canada, on all Canadians. It's complete nonsense.
Denounce hate, because hate is something that it spreads like fire and consumes everything.
Yep, more questions about racism. And again, at the center of it all is Jagmeet Singh, the first visible minority to lead a federal party. Throughout the campaign, there's been a particular fascination with his turban. Check out this headline asking whether voters are ready for a prime minister with a turban. Or this one from CBC, 5 things Jagmeet Singh wants you to know about his turban. Or this one in French, more important than a turban. The media, including the CBC, has been...
He's the one that keeps bringing up his fucking turban. Like, he brings up his turban more than anybody else. It's constantly like, yeah, and I'm brown, and I have a turban, guys.
Covering it, and Singh has addressed it over and over.
I'm trying to become the prime minister of this country, and look, I got a beard and a turban. I am running as a candidate with the turban to show people that I celebrate Quebec identity. The reality is, I'm a guy that wears a turban. Yes, as someone who clearly has a turban, has a beard. Maybe it's been nice long.
We can see your turban. You don't need to keep telling us you have a turban. It's like, look at all of his supporters. White, 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 white. You know, yeah, Canadians are so fucking racist. All the brown people are voting for the Liberals.
Here as well. I want to defend the environment, and I got a turban and beard.
And then, of course, Singh got questions about this. Justin Trudeau in blackface. The media went immediately to Singh for his personal reaction.
So seeing this image is going to be hard for a lot of people. It's going to bring up a lot of pain. It's going to bring up a lot of hurt.
Oh my God, he's like tearing up in this. And see, it's funny because the media, they're complaining now about the media and how they're going to these people to discuss them about racism and how this is inherent. This is racist in and of itself, because they're like, oh, you should stop going to these people and asking them. You should start and saying how good they handle it, and we start talking about how we change it. So you know that's all leading towards hate speech laws.
Please reach out to your loved ones. Please reach out to people who are suffering in silence right now.
He was asked for his reaction again, and then when a slew of candidates from all the major parties resigned or apologized after being accused of making racist statements, more questions. There's so many to respond to. Even Trudeau apologized to him directly for his blackface behavior. On the actual campaign trail, Singh's also been targeted personally, directly. Like, remember this moment that went viral?
No, what? What's that? You should cut your turban off and you look like a Canadian.
Oh, I think Canadians look like all sorts of people. That's the beauty of Canada. I don't agree.
In Rome, you do as a Roman.
Hey, but this is Canada. You can do like whatever you like.
That was in Quebec, where the issue is sometimes.
No, I'm even doubtful that that person was real, to be honest, because why would you go in front of a camera to say that the guy is in Montreal, but he speaks English? I'm not saying there's no English, a lot of English speakers in Montreal, obviously, but it's like, I'm not saying nobody would say that either. It is kind of true, in Rome, maybe he would get more votes if he did that. But, now they're making this whole thing about racism in Canada in the election and how it's a big issue and it's really been stirring below the pot for many years, and now we're just starting to see it with the first brown candidate, and then they're bringing on, like I said, the Calgary mayor. But all indications show that people are getting less and less racist by hiring these minorities, by making them their party leaders. But at the same time, the media is like, oh, but it's getting worse in Canada, and or it's always been really bad. We're just seeing it now because these people are being put in these positions of power, yada, yada, yada. But let's see this. Yeah, look at Wendy's face, right? Look at her. What the hell?
It was a bit sharper because Bill 21 bans religious symbols from some government workplaces. Singh addressed all of that in a French ad, even removing his turban, trying to make Quebecers more comfortable with his identity. The polls suggest his decision to handle all of this with what he calls love and courage has won him some support. But are we missing the point? The bottom line here, the story breaks, there's an apology or a candidate is fired, but then some media moves on to the next big story. And Singh says he wants to have a deeper discussion about discrimination. So does my next guest. He's the mayor of Calgary, Naheed Nenshi. He's also the first Muslim mayor of a major North American city. So, Mayor Nenshi, I don't need to tell you about the focus this campaign on race and identity. And I just wonder all of this fascination with the turban. And he's obviously chosen how to deal with this. I'm assuming there must be some bells ringing here for you.
So people who grow up as a minority in a majority culture, we sort of have additional work to do. We have kind of an...
Oh, God. Oh, there's this whole... I have it so hard, and I got to work twice as hard as the whitey because he has privilege, right? And me, because I'm mayor, I had to work twice as hard as you because of the color of my skin. When in reality, a lot of the times, no, that's not the case, man. Why did Elizabeth Warren lie about her fucking nationality to become a fucking teacher in one of the most prestigious schools in America? It's not because of white privilege. It's because of native privilege, because of this privilege. But you know, this is why white privilege is such a negative concept too. Because whenever we see poor white people, you see people of color and other like white people see them that have been indoctrinated, and they're like, well, you have every everything going for you. There's nothing, you shouldn't be poor, right? So they have absolutely no sympathy. No, it's like, yeah, fuck those people. Hey man, you have every advantage in the book. So you being poor just means you're a worthless human being, essentially. And this is how a lot of people think of poor white people. They're like, you should be a millionaire. You should be a quadruple millionaire because you're white, man. You have everything going for you. So, and in turn, when there's poor black people, poor natives, this or that, it's colonialism. It's because they're oppressed. It's because of history and this history. Oh, it's never because of that. So it's this privileged concept is really detrimental. And, it makes people like this who don't have to work that hard think they're, have a massive ego and promote these lies, and to think that, oh, it's so fucking hard and oppressed and difficult for me, even though I've been elected as mayor multiple times. The media has to ask me questions about being a Muslim sometimes, and this, makes me just break down and cry. But listen to this jackass.
Additional mental and emotional load, and we just know that it's part of the deal. Part of the deal is you're forever having to explain yourself and talk about who you are and where you come from. And for him, he gets questions like, why do you tie your turban like that when many other Sikhs tie it in a different way?
Who's asked that question? Never heard anybody. Maybe some reporters. See, reporters ask questions. These leftist liberal reporters ask questions. Well, why do you tie your turban like this? Now, the whole country's it's a structural racism, systemic problem.
It's just sort of something you got to deal with. You got to know that the security guard in the store when you're a teenager is going to look at you just a little bit longer as you walk through the store. But we live with it. It's sort of part of the deal. We know we have to work a little.
I have no sympathy for people who voluntarily come to a country and then later on complain about a store clerk who is likely Chinese looking at you. Like most store clerks that I see in Canada are either Asian, they're some version of Asian. They're the brown Asian or they're the yellow Asian. They're one of the two Asians. They're very rarely. So they're probably Muslim like you. You're getting looked at by other Muslims and you're complaining. I haven't seen many mom and pop stores around Canada, especially probably in your city. You know what I mean? But yeah, right. Feel sorry for this guy.
A little harder, do a little bit better, answer way more questions than others would answer. Anytime anything happens in the Muslim world, I'm asked to comment on it as though I speak for all Muslims. I'm not an imam. I don't.
See, this is a whole racist thing. It's like, well, every time something happens in the Muslim world, I'm asked to speak for all Muslims. That's not why people are asking you questions. See, it's a lose-lose situation, or a win-win, I guess, for the media, because then they can ask him and he can race bait when something with Muslims or something happen. And you know what? That's also bullshit, because whenever a jihadist attack happens, I've never seen the media go to a Muslim mayor. I've never seen the media go to Sadiq Khan when there's a bunch of Rotherham rape gangs or terrorist attacks in England or London. I don't see them going, hey, well, you're Muslim, so are you going to condemn this? Are you going to condemn this? I never, ever see that shit, right? Never see it. Rarely do they even condemn this stuff. So it's all fabricating. It's all bullshit.
Don't have any religious rules, I mean. So these are things that we just kind of have to live with, and it's part of the price, particularly of entering public life. What's different now is that we actually are in more divisive times where some bad stuff is going on. And when we comment on it, sometimes there's a sense of, oh, you're only saying it because you're Muslim. Guess what? I would feel the exact same way about Bill 21 if I myself were not part of that group.
Bill 21 affects all religious people, including Jewish people, Christian people. It's all religious people, but they're making it about just Muslims. And they're like, oh, it's just about me. That's why I'm not. Well, Jewish people can't wear their little hats and shit. Priests can't wear crosses or have a Bible or something like that. So, no, it actually does apply to most people. And this guy, he'll bring up race baiting, but this guy is a race baiter. I've seen him race bait multiple times on TV continuously and whatnot, but still he'll bring it up.
It's a fundamental and disgusting abrogation of human rights. It's saying to people in this country, you have to choose between your faith and your job.
What did you think watching this? It came up during the debate. The other leaders sort of commenting, congratulating Jagmeet Singh on how he's handled all of this. What did you think watching that?
Mr. Singh, I just want to start off by congratulating you on the way that you have handled so many issues around race and identity.
But see, now they're making an issue about people congratulating Jagmeet Singh for how he handled racism. Like, now this is a problem.
Someone who has been the victim of these types of racist acts in the past.
I want to also echo Andrew's comments, because I think that Jagmeet has done, as we all have done through this rather strange period of an election campaign, confronting issues of privilege.
You have spoken very eloquently about discrimination and fought against it all your life.
Yeah, it was a bit cringy, you know. They were trying to be.
Well, he's right about that. It was cringy, and you see the only person who didn't like congratulate him or whatnot was like Maxime Bernier on stage. You know, the pander to whomever, right? Oh, you did a great job in how you handled that racist. But what they really want is the person to say, because that guy, you know, you shouldn't be you shouldn't have to go through a person coming up to you and saying some hurtful thing. We need laws and legislation to be put in place for hate speech and for mean and bad behavior like this guy did. You know, he should have been prosecuted. He should have been at least fined or put to jail, because it's just such a horrible thing that this type of stuff happens, that mean things are said to people of color, you know. So this is the thing with multiculturalism, right? This is the justification that they bring in to take away your rights. They say, well, there's lots of different people in Canada, and you know, we can't offend the Muslims and the Jews and the Asians and the this and the that. So and words are violence, you know, words are violence, and we need to stop these hurtful words because you know, it's hurting people. So we need legislation. And I've already seen lots of rumbling about that. Different articles saying, no, we need to make hate speech a part of our charter, not just in the sentencing aspect. It needs to be needs to actually be like codified in the law more so than it already is. But let's play this.
But as I was thinking, I was like, you know, I don't actually need people to congratulate me on how I deal with racism. I need them to stand with me in the battle against racism. And I think we've got to get to that next step.
So what is the discussion that you want? And is part of the problem that the media is not having that discussion?
Oh, okay. I see the chat there. Yeah. No, I haven't voted yet, but I'm probably going to vote maybe today, maybe tomorrow. But in the next couple of days for sure. But I'm going to vote for the PPC 100%. So, anybody else who's out there and you haven't voted yet, go vote for the PPC. I'm going to try to convince maybe some family members today at the very least to, because a lot of them are very apolitical, right? They don't pay attention to politics whatsoever. So it'd be really easy to convince them like, hey, what do you call it? Go vote for the PPC, because there are a lot of them probably wouldn't even vote anyways. So I could just say like, hey man, go vote for the PPC. If you do vote this time around, they'll be like, oh, okay, sure. Why not? But let's see here. Okay, I just took a video of it. Pressed thumbs up. But everybody hit the like button, share, subscribe, all that stuff. I notice I'm streaming right when some other people are streaming right now, but what can you do? I haven't done a solo stream in a really long time, so I kind of wanted to do one of those, and so I could read the chat as well, interact with the people. Hey Stan, how's it going, buddy? Hey Concan, Sherry Crook, Michael Smith, how's it going? Who else is here that I haven't? Obsessive Compulsive, Sully, Son of Rambo. Hey Kloom, how's it going, buddy? Who else is in here? Hey Sven, Freedom, Prosperity. How's it going, man? Orc Slayer. I'm not sure if I said hi to you yet. I got a video restricted on Facebook a few days ago. Topic was censored deplatforming. Yeah, there's lots of censorship going on right now in YouTube, especially during this election. Lots of people are being censored. It seems to me like some of my videos are having a difficult time just cracking a few hundred video views and stuff now. People could just be not interested. That's obviously a possibility for sure. And it's, it makes sense as well. But, it seems like it's just when it's about certain political topics, it's a little bit difficult to get your video in the algorithm and shit. Plus, yeah, like you said, there's a lot of censorship going on right now. Let's finish playing this here.
I don't want to cast aspersions on the media, but I think there's a real challenge in how, a media which still is not as diverse as the overall community handles these questions in a.
See, it's the media, because they're not diverse enough. And the media, they're already completely on your side, but see, it's never enough. Now they need to fire half the staff and make sure that all of the reporters are people of color, so they know the right questions to ask, instead of making all of these microaggressions continuously
in a way that is both probing and sensitive. So sometimes you have a leap toward.
So it's like there's no discrimination against white people, blah 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 blah. But you hear people like this. You see in a lot of job applications saying, no more white people. We're trying to diversify. Well, that is discrimination. It's positive discrimination, whether you like it or not. A lot of European countries will call it that themselves and say, yes, we do positive discrimination here. And that means that we can discriminate against white men because they make up the majority and they're privileged and they have everything going for them. So we're just trying to equal things out. But that is still discrimination. I know people are like, no, it's not. It's not discrimination because you're all racist and you're not hiring us. So we're forced to do this, because if you weren't so racist, we wouldn't be forced to do this.
Towards very shallow analysis. And sometimes you have an avoidance of the topic entirely, or sometimes you have a move forward that is actually kind of offensive. So let me give you an example. When I first ran for mayor in 2010, nobody talked about my faith. Nobody talked about my race until after the election. And suddenly, the day after the election, I found myself super famous. Every media outlet in Canada wanted to talk to me. Media outlets around the world wanted to talk to me. They didn't want to talk about my amazing campaign or my great good looks. or even the color of my skin. They just wanted to talk about my faith. And back then, I had a decision to make. Do I just kind of wave all this stuff off because it wasn't important to Calgarians who cared about what I think about public transit? Or do I use this as an opportunity to really have a conversation, tell a story about pluralism in Canada? Now, fast forward 2 elections later, my 2017 election, and I received more sort of race-based commentary and angry, nasty stuff than I had in the previous 2 elections combined, times 10. And when I pointed that out, and I said, this is very unpleasant, the reaction, especially sort of from the commentariat, was really, really demeaning of me. People said I was playing the race card, that I was trying to use race to get elected.
See, now it's racist to call out these people when they're using the race card. That's a no-no. That's a microaggression when you're like, hey, stop bringing up race constantly, or making that the main issue, or why you didn't win something, or why you didn't get as many votes as you think you get enough votes. That's literally every single time. So, if Jagmeet Singh doesn't do as well as people think he's going to do, they're going to say, well, it's because, there's just too many racist white people. And once we change the demographics of Canada, then we'll be all better off, and we won't have to deal with all these people who judge us by wearing turbans on our head, right? It's complete nonsense. But can't believe they're making this an issue.
And I was like, you know what? As any person who is a minority can tell you, the race card is never part of a winning hand.
Look at her smile, like, you're so right. Mm-hmm. Oh my! Yes, it is a part of the winning. Why would they use it? Why would they use it if it wasn't part of? If it didn't work? Of course it works. That's why people continuously use the race card. It drives up your base. It makes minorities in Canada think that the system is against them. That it's structurally created to systematically oppress you and to benefit whites and whatnot. So, and this dumb Wendy Mesley, just, you're so right. Nobody's going to push back on this guy, on what he's saying. They're just going to nod like fucking retards saying, you're right. Everything you're saying is completely true.
And it would do well for us to listen and engage in that conversation instead of saying to people, toughen up, get a stronger skin, you're in Canada now, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, you know what I get told when I complain about being a minority in my country? When I complain about shit like that, shut up, you're privileged. Shut up, you're a white male. You're a white male. Toughen up. Why are you complaining? You have everything going for you. So, and I always say this, man, like, we didn't enslave Muslims and bring them to Canada and force them to work underneath us. Okay? You are the mayor of Calgary, one of the biggest cities in Canada, and you're still complaining. It's never going to be good enough.
We've spoken to some journalists of color, Andre Demise in particular at Maclean's, who was saying basically the same thing, that the media sort of focused on how Jagmeet Singh handled that fellow in the Atwater market, saying you should cut off your turban and be a Canadian. That they all talked about how fabulous his reaction was, instead of saying, hey buddy, that guy should not have said that there was not criticism of the comment instead of the reaction.
Now, I will say that was probably the nicest racist I've ever seen, very Canadian. But
so there's no criticism of the comments. So now it's racist because everybody only congratulated Jagmeet Singh of how he handled the racist. They should have also condemned what he said and blah, 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 and said, you know what, I'm going to institute a global hate crimes unit or something like that, right?
But that's exactly the point, right? Is that we get into these very superficial conversations where it has to get much deeper. You know, when Mr. Singh first started coming up, people were really focused on the fact that he wears beautiful suits, and he does wear beautiful suits, and he's really a fashionable guy, and he owns 6 bikes and a folding bike, and it's all kind of interesting. You know, this is our first hipster federal leader, but there was also an undercurrent to it, which is, isn't it interesting that a guy who wears a turban is also a hipster? Here's the thing. They all have the same beard.
You could compare.
Who's saying these things? It's like some media, some leftist journalist says this. Maybe they're even a person of color, and now they're going to complain about this as well. About the like, if this is all you have to worry about in Canada, is somebody saying, look at the nice suits Jagmeet Singh is wearing, and the implication is that Sikhs can't wear nice suits. Well, you know what? It's not a part of their culture. I'm like, this is a white culture thing, you know, that it came from white people. They started wearing suits. You know, they wear whatever garb they wear in Sikh land or something, right? Like, yeah, it is a little weird maybe to see or see, but it's like they were probably commenting or just complimenting him on how nice he looks, but that's racist as well. You know, you really want to fuck with white people. You really want to make them like be okay. Can I compliment this person or not? Because it could be considered a microaggression down the road. So just say nothing. But if you say nothing, then it's like, well, why didn't you say anything? Why didn't you compliment? Because you're a racist. It's like
Jagmeet Singh and the way he's handled the race issues in this election to Barack Obama, whose advisors have said that they adopted what they called a race-neutral strategy to try and make voters more comfortable with him as a black man. Jagmeet Singh is obviously not being race-neutral. He's had...
You know, I love the implications too, right? You know, it's just like white people, yeah, we wouldn't have voted for him. And it's not that we're uncomfortable or the Americans were with voting for him because he was a black man. Yeah, if you're saying like a bunch of racist shit or race baity shit, you probably should tone that down. That's probably going to make your campaign harder. But if you don't say those things during your campaign at the very least, then that probably would be better for you. But Obama did say a bunch of race baity shit after the campaign. And I think in the 2012, maybe she's talking about 2008.
To address this issue, what's the right way to go? Is there a right way to go?
Let me be really clear about this. Jagmeet Singh has it way harder than I ever did. He wears a turban. He wears his face.
Oh, look how, just feel sorry for him. Look at him. Look at him look down to the ground, and he's sad. Something, you know, he's thinking deeply about something. You know, maybe a thing that happened in his childhood when somebody said, "Hey, get out of here, turban head. Get out of here." But why is there this angle coming up during the election? You know, why is the media trying to get a bunch of people to, I don't know, look favorably upon Jagmeet Singh, or to you know, make it all about racism? Is it just another way to, you know, try to usher in or bring into the consciousness of Canadians that there's a lot of hate going around and that we need to censor it, or we need to you know, create laws to censor it, etc.? Because, you know, I keep hearing this stuff. I keep hearing rumbles about it. And, you know, how social media is radicalizing people and whatnot. So, and driving up this type of hate, and how we need to stop it.
Faith on the outside. He has the beard. He's got the bracelet, the whole bit, right? You know, he wears the 5Ks of his faith. And so he has to deal with a lot more things than I have to deal with as, you know, a relatively fair-skinned person of color who doesn't have those outward articles of faith. It's tough. And the thing is, you don't always have the choice. You know, I might disagree that President Obama was in fact race neutral. I think that he embraced who he was as a biracial person, as an African-American person, and so on. And he wasn't shy about telling the story. So we have to do it. The thing is, though, that no one else has to do it, and that's what makes the path that Mr. Singh is on a little bit different. It's not a bad thing. It's part of the deal. He gets to be the leader of a party in the greatest country in the world, despite, or in fact, because of the fact that he wears a turban. It's pretty great. It's pretty awesome. And we should be...
Yeah, stop complaining. Stop whining. And I saw Lauren's like, AJ needs a Trump hat. And I do have a MAGA hat. I got one. Somebody sent it to me. But it says "Make Canada Great Again." So it's a little bit better. Here, one sec. See, I got one. It's a little big though. That's the only thing, right? So I got to find like a good way to wear it. Maybe. My turban is dirty. You shouldn't get a dirty turban. But I'll play the rest of the video. I'm just gonna check out the chat for a second. Best tacos. It's not about, but somebody's really been wanting me to wear this because they got it for me. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wear it, and I'll tell them to check out the video later if they want to. Jagmeet Singh. Here, let's play the rest of this though. Here, let me share it again. Chrome tab. Double-edged sword. Addressing identity politics. This guy is just a joke, just a fucking joke in general. Okay, now it's being slow here.
Be really, really, really proud of it.
I don't know why it's not.
But we also need to make sure that we don't get smug, because there are dangers here, and those are the dangers we have to address.
You're gonna have to just
It's
look
been
at
great
his.
to talk to you. Maybe someday we'll talk about something other than race.
No, you won't. You're not gonna talk about something other than race. Shut the hell up with that shit. That's never gonna happen. It's always gonna be race-based bullshit. That's a good, yeah. It's Make Canada Great Again, man. I've had this for a little while, but I don't really like the size of it. It's kind of like, I like baseball caps, with the more of the bend to the hat. And so it's if it was a little bit smaller. But see, I'm not bald. But I do have a lot of gray hair. I got bad genetics when it comes to gray hair. And luckily, I still have it all, and I have a lot of fucking hair, but that's probably going to be gray as shit by the time I'm 40, most likely. But that might look kind of cool. I'll try have like the sides gray first, and I'll keep that, have the old man cool look type thing going. Hey, white guy. Hey, Faye Knox, I already said hey to you. Greta gaslighting. Enough hair for 6 people, AJ. Yeah, I know, man. My hair grows really fast. It takes no time at all for it to fucking grow, but probably one day it will be, it'll just completely go. But check out, I got a new picture in the background. I got a boat. I found this boat picture, and I was like, this is really nice. You can get that. Trying to sell a lot of it too, because I've been getting into what do you call it? I don't know if you guys. I've been watching like a lot of these not pickers and stuff, but people like resell things, and they resell. Some people they make a whole business out of reselling stuff on like eBay, but I got to kind of have to learn how to use that stuff, eBay, Amazon, and whatnot, because I do kind of like looking for this type of stuff. For antiques and things like that. And who knows, you find some cool stuff, you resell it. A lot of people don't know what they have a lot of the times. I think people, they sell prints, and they think they're kind of useless, right? Because they're a print, but a lot of times these prints are worth like hundreds of dollars and shit. And I found tons of paintings worth hundreds of dollars, and like shit that's worth quite a bit of money. And then you sell it online or whatever. But like I said, a lot of people, they just don't know what they have when it comes to frames, pictures, art. And I'm still learning a lot, obviously, but it's kind of fun. I don't know if you guys ever, go to garage sales and shit. I found all these work gloves the other day at a garage sale, and they were mint. They all have the tags still on them. I found like 4 pairs plus a winter pair of gloves, which I'm gonna need, which I've already been plus another pair, and I got everything for like $20 or less, and that's a great fucking deal because those are like $15-20 each. Pairs of gloves. So, you never know what you find. And I'm not rich and shit like that. So it's good. Hey, Kurt, how's it going, buddy? But I do like this hat. It's all right. It's not so bad. I'm sure my girlfriend will like it. Like that I'm wearing it. It's a big hat. Yeah, it is a big hat. That's the thing, right? But whatever. I got it to troll people, to be honest. I wanted to kind of wear it around Canada, or I just wear it around Winnipeg and maybe see people's reaction or something to it, and maybe film, see if somebody attacks me or something. That might be kind of funny to film, but at the same time, you go to some leftist rally wearing this. That might be interesting. Actually might be a good idea, but I got to figure out how just live streaming when you're walking around. I'm sure it's easy, but I just never really done it. Yeah, I know. If you've been in Winnipeg, man, it was really bad the past couple of days with the weather and shit. It's been terrible. My power's been going out continuously. If it goes out right now, it's probably because of that, because there's still a lot of leaves on the trees. So all these trees fell down. I'm surprised nobody got killed, because lots of trees are just broken, or branches falling on people's cars or houses. And there was one on my power line behind my house, just wedged between a power line. I'm like, fuck, man, this is ridiculous. Maybe it just is a little person, and that is a normal size hat. Maybe. Well, I'm not huge or anything like that, but I think this hat is a little bit big. My head I have a decent size head, especially with my hair. My hair makes my head even bigger because it's like a fucking perm or some shit. I got big hair, so I think it's just a big hat as well. Do Mark Dice and ask questions on the street, AJ? Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Going in the street and seeing what people think. Make trees great again. Why the hell would I do that? Why the fuck would I do that? But I saw this one story from Winnipeg here, and they're like, they want to raise the lower the voting age to 16, obviously, like they continuously do. I want a future Winnipeg Center high schoolers weigh in on climate change, lowering the voting age. So what is this crap here? There's a video comprised of this, but look at all the kids. Okay, brown girl. I'm gonna say she's white, but she definitely has a mix of something in her. Asian, Sikh, that looks like he probably has, I'd say 20% Asian DNA, 40% sub-Saharan African, and then 30% Arab, like those Arab. But he's a Sikh. This guy's like probably 20% sub-Saharan African, maybe 5% East Asian, and then the rest is like those Arabic type people in that region. And this guy's what? This is all Winnipeg, everybody keeps saying, oh, Winnipeg, it's not diverse there. Well, the schools are pretty fucking diverse. We're the white boys. But this guy I have no idea. I'm going to say he's Mexican. Okay, I'm going to say he's a Mexican or a Filipino. I don't know. This is a white girl. This is another white girl, but she looks kind of odd, but I'm just trying to give you their exact race. I like to try to guess. You look and you're like, wonder what groups this person is creative, but you could tell this guy is like, just by his eyes and the lids, you're like, okay, there's some Asian ancestry in that area for sure. And I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty good with faces. I'm pretty good at distinguishing that shit. I'm not gonna say I'm 100%, but I mean, I'm pretty good at it, gotta say. But here's one video. Then I guess I'll play the other one with the little kids, and they're all like, I haven't watched the one with the little kids saying how.
Well, I'm really proud to say we have a number of millennials working on our campaign, advising in different even leadership roles on the campaign.
I don't know why she said millennials, because I'm pretty sure these kids are Generation Z. So does she mean millennials? Because they wouldn't. I don't think it includes these kids. Maybe does it? I don't know when the starting is and the end rate is for millennials, but I think she means Gen Z or whatever, like the kid version, because this is the thing. All these leftists, they get a bunch of kids and non-residents, not like either permanent residents or refugees, literally, to go out and help them with their campaign and stuff. And you're like, that's not illegal. It's not a crime. But, you're like, come on, fuck, whatever. You're going to go and get anybody you can. I guess it's, I can't hate them for it. Because whatever you do, you got to do to win. And that's what these people are doing. And, that's how they think. So, why not, I guess. Okay.
Our party does support reducing the voting age to 16. I think it's critical. Some of the most serious issues of our time, including climate change, are being faced by young people. They deserve to have a say about decisions that will directly impact their lives now and in the future.
Well, first of all, I have to say, as somebody who loves democracy,
they needed a say in what happens now in the future. And they're using this whole climate scare as a justification to lower the voting age, because I'm going to be dead in 10 years and I should have a say in what goes on in politics because you keep polluting and you're not putting a price on carbon. And it's like, come on, guys, stop pretending like you care about democracy and voting or whatever. It's all just because you've fully indoctrinated these kids in school, and they're brainwashed by TV and other celebrities raging and moaning about this shit continuously, that they're going to vote for a party that promises to do something about the climate and the environment. So they're going to vote for a left-wing party. So that's going to be good for the media or the left, no matter what.
I'm always excited when I see high voter turnout, because I like to see democracy alive and well in Canada. Democracy is a special thing, and it just you don't appreciate it till it's gone, and we always need to have vibrant participation. And quite often, voting ages and voting habits are set early in life, and I would be willing to look at multiple options to continue to get the youth involved.
I was thinking about this because I keep hearing this guy and a couple other guys say this, because he's a conservative, this guy, so he's not going to go right out and say, I think we should lower the voting age, but he goes in to say like, I think we should get people involved at a young age so then they keep voting. And that could be early on beneficial for the left, that people get into that pattern. But then later on in life, it could actually be negative for them, because then people, as they get older, tend to vote more conservative. So if that is true, if they consistently continue voting, then it could be like a short-term gain for libs, but kind of like a long-term loss, even at the same time. And I have another video where Elections Canada is promoting people to go vote, right? And you know what? If young white males voted, and those people, just young white males voted, then you would see a lot of people or you would see like more conservative governments be elected, because only 22% of young males support the liberals or support like the left. Very few of them. But you see this election commercial, it's all about getting minorities to go vote or young women to go vote, or women in general to go vote. So, but this is the thing, when minorities come into the country, I was reading this one article, they want to go vote, and they're like, this is like their civic duty, and they vote every election. They vote every single election. No, as soon as they get into the country. There's that one guy brought up in the last stream where he just became a fucking citizen, and already he's trying to make it so permanent residents have the ability to vote in Canada, because he's like, they're a part of your communities, they're your doctors and your nurses and your maids, and they should have a right and a say to vote. So these people get politically active the moment that they get into the country, because they know that getting their people in the government is a way for them to get goodies and for them to get power for them and their community and their area, so they can run it however the fuck they like. Like what's going on in Richmond, what's going on in these places where people, the authorities, the governments, the MPs, whatnot, they're all looking the other way, not proposing anything to do about the housing market or anything like that, because they're all bought off, or they don't give a shit.
Would that include lowering the voting age to 16? Given my passion for democracy and just seeing people vote, I would like to say I'm willing to look at many different options.
Absolutely, the Green Party supports the voting age to be lowered to 16, because young people are like, these are the choices that are being made now are going to impact young people more throughout the course of their adult lives. So the sooner they can actually be a part of that decision making, the more they can actually have that say in terms of their own future. That to me just makes a lot of sense. The other things, though, I think we need to work on in our society, and this is
why women should not be in politics, because this girl is just oozing with emotion and feelings and no logic whatsoever. I could just feel, not all women. A lot of women here I would vote for them. I'm not saying all, like, I think there are women that could be great leaders, and we shouldn't like discriminate necessarily and be like, hey, no women allowed, because you could be turning away some really great leaders and stuff. Joan of Arc, I don't know, Margaret Thatcher, or whatever you think about her. I don't know too much about her, but I know she's kind of quoted as a strong, right-wing woman and stuff. And there are other examples throughout history and stuff. So you don't want to turn away talent, good things, but this whole idea of we got to force a bunch of women in politics and all this other crap and make things 50-50 is not a good idea, because then they're just going to be putting a bunch of these people in positions of power and shit that are they're not logical thinkers.
It's a personal perspective, is we also need to increase electoral literacy through our education system. And I think also
well, I agree with that.
If there's issues around apathy around votership, then we need to really address electoral reform. Because if people are not engaging with the voting process, it's because we feel like our voice doesn't matter. And it doesn't really matter, for young.
She's right about that. I can give her that. It's because a lot of people, it's one of the reasons too, it's because people think their voices don't matter and their votes don't matter. So why participate? And when you only choose between liberals and conservatives for the last, for all of Canadian history, then it's going to feel like that. We do have a parliamentary system. You can vote for different parties, but there's this strategic voting that goes on in Canada. It's always strategic voting. And we never vote for somebody. We vote against somebody. We vote to get somebody out of office. We vote to get Trudeau out of office instead of voting to get somebody in. It's usually, okay, we're going to take this guy who's not that great, but at least he's not Trudeau. At least he's not this. And this guy's the best chance to win. And, if I give my vote to here, then maybe this guy that I really hate will lose or will win, blah blah blah. But you're always going to be stuck in this dilemma if you continue to do that. And if you get to the point where you're apathetic and you're not going to vote at all, right? Then what's the harm of throwing your vote away to one of the smaller parties like the PPC or the Canadian Libertarian Party or the Nationalist Alliance Party or the Christian Heritage Party or something like that? Like, if you're going to throw it away anyways, if you got nothing else to do that day, you may as well go over and vote for one of these parties, or don't, whatever. But it's an option.
Young people, if they get involved, but if they still feel like their voice doesn't matter, that their vote is going to be wasted, then we still have a very sick democracy. We need to bring about electoral reform so every Canadian feels like their vote matters.
So when I ran for mayor in 2014, that was actually one of my platform pieces, was to actually lower the age of voting for all Canadians to
fuck you, Robert,
the age of 16. And the reason for that is studies show that children or people who have voted younger will vote later on in life. They will continue voting because it's become a civic habit or a thing that they become used to doing. And so the idea was to encourage more civic participation, but also to make, when they're in the schools learning about elections at the age of 16 or around there in grade 10 and grade 9, it's actually real for them. It actually has a consequence, the vote, and what it is that they're going to be voting for. And so because they're they will work on this with their teachers, but also they'll have these discussions at home. They'll be, it'll be an exciting moment for them. They can go and they can exercise their right to vote. So this is something that, probably should be encouraged. I would encourage young people to advocate for this. They can present petitions in Parliament.
Right. I'm a bit advocate for this because I know that young, dumb people are going to vote for me and give me a shot that I would not normally have if it wasn't for the fact that I get a bunch of young, dumb people voting for me. And let's just face it, guys. Like, hey, man, I was stupid when I was young. I'm still stupid. I'm still an idiot. In a couple of years, I'm going to look back on what I think now and probably be like, fuck, I was naive, man, or I was stupid or whatever. So 10 years ago, I was even dumber. I can admit that. I was not politically literate whatsoever. I ate up a lot. I didn't really pay attention. I was more apathetic. I cared more about, video games and all the other crap. But young people are just not informed. They're easily persuaded by authority figures like their teachers, who are primarily left-wing socialist activists. So no, it's not a good idea to get, voting itself is bad. I don't want anybody voting. I don't want anybody voting because it's like, hey, now I get to decide what goes on in your life because I get the majority, because a lot of people agree with me. Now I get to make your life shit. Now I get to impose regulations to destroy your oil and gas industry and your jobs and your livelihood because I've been convinced by the propaganda from the media that we don't need coal energy. You got these people in Alberta that have lost hundreds of thousands of jobs. Like the rate of people on welfare and food and going to food banks has increased the most in Alberta, and it's increasing dramatically, where people who were once be able to pay for shit to live in a good home, now they're just barely able to feed themselves. And you know what? Nobody gives a shit. You know why? They use the same argument they used against the oil workers in America when their jobs went away. They said, hey, you were making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year and none of you guys even saved a little bit, and so you deserve literally everything. That you should have learned how to code. You should have foresaw the market changing because we all know the market, we understand how it changes. Whereas no, the market changed because of people like you, because of Trudeau's regulations, because of Kathleen's wine regulations. It didn't have to do that. We didn't have to destroy our market, our jobs. You did it on purpose. And then they go to you later and say, well, you had all this money. You should have saved, and you should have learned how to code, and you should, started to do computer programming, and started to invest in solar panels or something. It's your fault, and there's some truth to, yes, a lot of people, when they're in high times, when they make a lot of money, nobody's saving. A lot of people, they're buying quads and skidoos, and this is what some people did too. It's true. Yes, that's true. People do misappropriate their money, and they have a lot more of it. And some people, if they all saved and held on to that money and didn't spend money for the economy, or on useless shit, then yeah, they would have had more money. But then they're told by these same people, by the economists, hey, if you don't go out and buy useless shit, the economy is going to crash. So it's like, what is it? Are people supposed to save their money, or are they supposed to spend it on useless shit to keep the economy going? But then when they do spend it on useless shit, and then you ruin their fucking jobs and their prospects, then you come around and say, oh well, you're stupid. You should have saved your money, and you dumb white trash. Maybe you should have gotten an education. Because a lot of people are jealous. They're jealous of Alberta and the fact that they're able to make a lot of money without going and getting a useless degree for 4 or 5 years. And they see these people making 6 figures or more, and they're like, whoa, well, that's what you get for not doing this and not learning to code to make 80,000 or 100,000 a year. Like, but guess what, man? Like, those jobs are not easy a lot of the times too. Has anybody done a physical fucking labor job in your life? I can tell you that it's not fucking easy. That you work for your money. It's not. Most people cannot hack it, man. Most people could not hack my fucking job. I'm telling you right now, women for sure cannot. 99.9% of women could not do my job. They just couldn't do it. And that has to do with physics. The fact that they can't lift 100 pounds and pull it up a roof. If you can't pull up 100 pounds up like 2-3 stories multiple times, and you can't do that, then you're completely useless in the field that I'm in and the work that I do. If you can't do some of this shit, you can't work for 15 fucking hours in minus 40 temperature, sweating because you're like, work with hot tar, you're fucking slaving or some shit. Like, no, man, a lot of dudes they quit after the first fucking few days, man. You put them on a hard crew, and there you go. Flat roofing, shingle roofing, that's one of the most dangerous jobs on the planet. It's higher, more people die from that than doing police work and shit, right? Because, there's a lot of dangerous shit. A lot of people, there's a reason people get paid more to do these types of jobs, because they're extremely dangerous, because they need to be done, because other people won't do them, people are mad at trades workers for making decent money, for working 6 days a week, working 12, 15 hours a day sometimes, working in all temperatures with the fucking, the rain, the snow, the fucking cold, the hot, the heat. Oh, you come out, get out of your fucking office, come onto the roof and see how fucking long you can last doing like fucking labor ripping and shit, man. It's like, it's you can get used to it. Your body gets used to it over time. I'm not saying it's the hardest thing in the world, and some days it's easier than others and stuff, right? That's the idea. Like there is, I'm not saying paperwork isn't difficult either, right? Like, he said, I'd rather rip roof than paperwork, but I can understand that in certain situations, but hey, man, trust me, it's fucking, you're ripping. I remember I was ripping a roof in minus 40, and there was like this much ice on top of the roof. So you had to cut through that. It's like this fucking thick. Each piece is like 80, 100 pounds. By the end of it, you're like, ripping up a whole fucking roof. Or it's like of yellow insulation or pitch roofing. If you ever ripped a pitch roof, I ripped a pitch roof last month, and we didn't know it was pitch. So I didn't have any goggles. I didn't have any gloves. And in my eyes, it all got into my eyes. And the whole day, my face was like burning. Like it's that stuff gives you cancer. Usually people, they don't apply pitch anymore. And only people who usually get paid an extra $1 or $2 to remove it because it's so hazardous and you need to have gloves and all this shit. But I don't have any of that shit. And the next day for 2 days, my eyes were all swollen. They were red and all this other shit. So it's like, I might want to stay in office and do paperwork as opposed to fucking doing that shit. But yeah, no, I worked -40 as well, Right. Yeah, no, that's shingling. People can confuse roofing and shingling, but it's technically roofing. But what do you mean by roofing, right? Roofing, are you putting a roof down, or are you applying shingles on a roof? You know what I mean? Because if you're you're not actually building a lot of times like the peak of the roof. You're not building the wood. Like sometimes they have to replace, obviously the wood and the plywood and all that shit. But I don't even like shingling, to be honest. It's like, fuck that. I'll stick on the flat roofs. I'd rather still do that as opposed to shingling and shit. But it's a good workout, good exercise. Applied 3D printing business, later some architect with no physical hazard or waste. Can't even just stand there for a day, let alone work on it. Yeah, exactly. It's that's the thing about shingling. You're on a slope all day, right? Yeah, I'd rather do flat. It's got its and I'd rather not do fucking shingling all fucking day, man. But and the thing about shingling is it is very seasonal, right? Like I can work all year. I've been on EI once since I've been roofing. Only once for like a month or two. And they fucked up, so I ended up having to pay them money. So, it's ridiculous. Roofing is a red seal trade. It's actually a red seal trade now. So you can get your red seal for roofing. I don't really get it. I don't have it. My brother has it. But you can get it, and you get paid a higher rate for that. But the way EI works and stuff is like, I'm sure all you guys know, it's your employer and you that pays into it, and then the government, all they do is manage it, right? So you pay them to manage the money that you give, and a lot of the times, I've paid into EI for so many years, and like you said, it's just you and your employer that pays into it. It's not the government. It's not taxpayers who pay into it. I've never claimed it for many, many years. So they just keep that money. It doesn't go over to the next year or the next account or all this shit. But imagine if you could. Imagine if you could have a thing, because people will think, well, seasonal work for this and that, the government, you'd be screwed without it. But it's like, no. Like I said, it's the worker and the employer that does it. And the employer has a massive, incentive to make sure he has workers when he needs them. He's not going to just fire people and get a whole new staff, because trust me, it's difficult to replace people, especially that know how to do their job properly, know how to do it fast, efficiently, and work hard and all that other crap. They can't just do that. So in a more of a free market system, you still have some type of EI thing, but it wouldn't be managed by the government. So you would probably have more money, and who knows, you could probably have that money go over onto the next year instead of the way it works now, where it's just kibbutz, just gone completely. Whereas you don't even use it. So you just give them money for nothing, right? But I guess understand insurance and how insurance works and stuff like that, right? But at the same time, yeah, I think that it wouldn't. You don't need the government for seasonal work as well. Yeah, it's fucked. There are a lot of scammers on it, right? That's the thing too. There are people who will scam it. That's why there needs to be some type of oversight, because let's just say all the guys are paying into something, and then you have one guy who, we used to call this one guy a compo case. He's a compo case because he would have like a little screw fall on his shoulder, and it'd be like, oh, my shoulder. Oh, I got to take a week. Oh, I got to call compensation. I got to call EI so I can go on EI for a week. And you're like, man, you're not hurt. Like, even when I twisted my ankle, they're a lot more strict on it. I twisted my ankle, like I couldn't work on the roof, but I still had to go into the office every day, and I had to work in the office. I took like 1 day off because when it first broke it, but then or first sprained it, but the rest of the days I had to go into work, and I had to work for 9-10 hours in the office and do other shit. And those people don't do fucking shit in the office, man. They're just fucking around. They're drinking coffees, having cigarettes every 30-45 minutes, shooting the shit outside. And you're like, man, these people, they complain about working all day in the office and like all this crap. I'm like, you do absolutely fucking nothing. I'm like, oh my God, these people. I'm like, just learn how to properly do a test cut, learn how to properly assess a job, learn how to do sales properly. And that's all I need you for, but these people, they don't even do that properly. And then all the guys that are working outside, they're like, hey, you need to work faster and you need to do this. But then the person who's like finding all the jobs for us don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know the thickness of the roof. So then we go to a roof to replace it, and then they're like, oh, we don't know how thick it is. So they're like, oh, fuck. Well, now that's going to cost extra money to hire to bring more insulation. That's so the roof can be thick enough. I went to one roof, this guy, Victor, he quoted it. We didn't know, he didn't like scrape the roof to see what it was. And he just sold like the cheapest thing to the guy. And then we couldn't do it that way because the scrape was impossible. So we had to skin it, which is just remove the top layer of the roof and then replace it. And that costs an extra like $10,000-$20,000 that we have to pay. And then they're telling us, hey, can you do it faster? Because we only quoted this many hours. And it was like, you guys are fucking retards. Just, they try to hire people that never roofed before, and they think that they're going to be able to quote a fucking roof properly. And they don't, because they just look at the specs and they learn from the specs. They don't know from actual experience what would work better, what would do that. They just look at the specs, and then they, offer something that's not going to work or whatever. And you're like, this is crap, man. I'm like, these people are fools. But getting off on a tangent about roofing now. Sorry about that. Won't talk about that anymore. Learn to roof. Sales runs operations, right? No, like sales is really important. Sales is extremely important. Without good sales, the company's fucked, man. But some sales staff are shit. And we had to fire that Victor guy who sold that one job because he fucked up. He misquoted a lot of jobs, and we lost a ton of money on these because he didn't know what the hell he was doing. He didn't, it's like these guys, some of these guys, they must have looked at the roof from Google Maps. They didn't even go up onto the roof to look at it. They just looked at Google Maps. But, I'll try to edit this part out about roofing, so anybody who doesn't want to see it. But let me share this thing here again. I want a future. Let's see what these kids have to say. Let's see what this turban kid has to say. So
people say that there's like not enough people voting, and if teenagers go out and vote, that would make a difference to like the more numbers of people voting, because mostly the people at the strike, a few like last week, like there was like majority of teenagers there, so it looked like that teenagers are like more involved than the adults, and then they have like, because it depends on their future, because like how they want their world to be. So yeah, and then I think the voting age should be lowered to 16.
Lowering the age to 16 will not be a good idea, because at 16, essentially, kids are
I like this guy. Finally, some fucking sense.
not that improved in their political knowledge, right?
You can't just go to a polling station and put any name down and then put it in. You have to like know what you're doing. And I think lowering that age like down to 16, I don't think it'd be a wise choice, because you can just have 16-year-old kids walking in there and just, oh, I'm gonna put down this name. I just think like everyone should be educated on.
Well, this is making. I like how these kids aren't for it. I haven't watched this yet, but it's good.
What's like all the parties and all the voting. It's not. I don't think it's a good idea.
It is our future, and if we were to vote at 16, by the time a next federal election came out, we would be 20, and it would affect our life quite a bit. And we should get some say in that. But then again, if you were to vote at 16, a lot of 16-year-olds would just vote whatever their parents voted. They wouldn't really think about it too much. So I don't know if it would make a difference.
I actually think we all know quite a bit. I've spoken with some adults, and they don't know half the things that all these children in this room know about. Change is a good thing, and adults change their mind all the time.
Somebody should feed this girl or allow her out in the sun, because somebody should go to her parents and see if they're like feeding this child, because she looks sickly.
All the time too. So we're just kind of miniature adults. Sure, we're a bit more temperamental, but I think a lot of us are a lot more.
Like, summer just ended and she's way too pale. I'm not trying to insult her. I'm literally worried about her health. I'm in Winnipeg. She's in Winnipeg. I'm probably going to try to contact her parents, because, she's obviously delusional because she thinks kids know more than adults. But I remember thinking some similar stuff to that when I was a kid. Be like, my parents don't know anything, and I watch the Daily Show all the time, and I know everything because Jon Stewart, tells me the news.
More passionate. I think teenagers have their hearts in the right place.
Yeah, that's the problem. They have their hearts in the right place, but not their minds in the right place, right? That's the issue. We don't care if their hearts are in the right place. It's your mind we care about. Styx Hexenhammer's sister? Yeah, I think so, eh? Fox Azure, the guitarist in my band, is a roofer by trade. I have a lot of respect for you. I did roofing when I was in college after I got out of the U.S. Army. Yeah, man, it's good work. It's good. It pays the bills. After I've done that for a while and done a lot of different types, like in different conditions and stuff, then I'm more confident that I can kind of get through anything, that's kind of like, I'm like, yeah, I can probably do this. It's going to be long and hard and stuff, but I know I can push through it, and I know I can work continuously the entire time and not like break down. And, like some people, they can't hack it. Right. And that's not a bad thing either. I'm not saying despairingly, hey, I can't do a lot of things either, man. There's some of those jobs that I see where they're like cleaning windows and stuff and doing that crap, and I'm like, I would never do that, man. I'm like, I don't have the balls to fucking go on the edge of a 30-story building and just hang off the side and start squeegeeing the windows. And some of the guys I work with, man, and the stuff that they do and what they used to, I'm just like, you're nuts. I'm like, you're fucking nuts, man. It's like, we're gonna like a high-story building, really high-story building, like 20, 30 stories high. And you see this guy, there's like a lift on the side of the building to lift stuff up. And he's like leaning over the edge, like barely tippy-toeing on the edge to like fix something at the tip of the thing. And I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like, you're going to die. You're going to slip and fall and die. And whatever, you're like, man, you're nuts. Like, I think way too much about how things are going to fall. You know, a 40-foot ladder still, you set up a 40-foot ladder, that's still fucking sketchy and rickety. You set that up all the way. You go to the top and you try to like, strap it to the top so it doesn't move and shift in the wind or whatever. You're trying to move one of those massive ladders by yourself. So you're like, trying to hold it, but you just feel it's all, it just moves really easily. Put dents in saving your, well, man, I was scared of heights at all. Hell, I jumped out of planes, but it was lugging and shingling that I could hardly do. Yeah, man, it's a heights thing. I'm not too afraid of heights, but I'm a little afraid of heights to some degree, right? But shingling, that's hard work, man, too. It's just the angles and stuff you got to go up. And like, no, I'm not gonna do shingling, man. I make more money probably doing flat roofing than I would do shingling. Depends if you get paid by the bundle, right? If you get paid by the bundle and shit, then you can make decent money. But is it really worth it? Is it worth to get paid $30 an hour to work on a peak like this? That where if you fall, you're pretty fucked, and you're like, nah, not worth it. Some jobs it'll be good when robots can do them instead. Some jobs I'm like, yeah, hopefully some robot comes around and can do this shit, because it's just not safe for humans to be doing this crap. It's not a safe thing. Laugh so much, but that's okay. No, they make more than 16 an hour. I don't know what, well, I guess maybe for starting helper wage. I don't know what you're talking about, 16 an hour. They're making at least 30s, high 30s, maybe even 40 an hour. I make a lot more than 16 an hour, that's for sure. But maybe, if you first start off roofing and you're a helper, then yeah, they're probably going to pay you 16, 17 bucks an hour or something. But the cost of living is also a lot less in Winnipeg. You got to take that in consideration too, because just because some wages are lower doesn't necessarily mean that you going a province or two over where the cost of living is higher, but now you're making a little bit more. Now you're making 45 an hour, maybe 50, but it's the exact same thing, right? So fucking goddamn. Somebody tried reaching me. Yeah, they might turn against humanity. That's true. Obsessive compulsive. The lefties already complained drinking milk is racist. Yeah, Joel, drinking milk is racist. Saint, don't you know that? Don't give them ideas about whipped cream or they'll be mandatory diet soon. Yeah. I don't eat whipped cream anyways, so I wouldn't care if they labeled that as like a white supremacist thing. It wouldn't be an issue. But did you guys see that ad that CBC is suing? What do you call it? Over. I'm sure you guys, most of you guys, I don't know if you guys want to see the ad that CBC and Rosie Barton is suing the Conservatives over. Let me know if you do in the chat. Everybody hit the like button, subscribe, share if you haven't already. That really helps the channel a lot. I really do appreciate it. All the support I can get right now, the better. Because I need it. I need your support. Help me grow. But let me know, yeah, if you guys want to see that video. Harper still is a globalist, as is Shear. Don't see any link, Lauren. Cow milk is racist, man. What are you talking about? Rosie Trudeau's girlfriend. Yeah, but it makes no sense. I don't see how this would get them to sue the Conservative Party over this fucking ad. It's like, come on, man, are you kidding me? But here, I'll play it because I'm sure you guys have seen it, but
running with a record now and running in 2015.
It's a good ad. Like, it's a good ad. It definitely works. I think it would convince some people type things. So that's one of the reasons they're going so hard after it, right?
Well, what I can say now is look at what we've done. It's become the billion-dollar question. How big will the federal deficit?
I like the music. I gotta admit, the music is a nice touch. Fucking goddamn it. He always does this with Twitter, it makes it so you can't goddamn play it again. Sorry about that, guys. Don't be mad at me.
Running with a record now and running in 2015. Well, what I can say now is look at what we've done. It's become the billion-dollar question. How big will the federal deficit be? The deficit could rise about $20 billion.
Today, a ruling came down that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has broken several conflict of interest rules.
The Prime Minister broke the law in 4 different places, and that's just talking about conflict of interest act.
See, so that's the clip. Rosie Barton sued him for that because she was just had her face there looking down. That's it. It didn't seem like to anybody watching. To anybody watching, does it seem like the Liberals or anybody are endorsing a certain party or anything like that? So they have no justification to go after them for using this in their clip or whatever, right?
Are we still fighting against certain veterans groups because they're asking for more than we are able to give right now? The fact is, we work. We'll just try to reorder the thoughts.
$12 million to install energy-efficient refrigerators for a corporation that made $800 million last year, owned by the Westons, one of Canada's richest families, worth $13.5 billion.
My question is, why does it have to be done with taxpayer dollars? Why do we have to fork out $12 million to have laws?
Gerald Bucks and Katie Telford had in total received over $200,000 in moving expenses.
Liberals have apologized and paid more than $10 million to Omar Khadr, a payout which has divided Canadians right across the country.
The first foreign trip Trudeau will come back from with his image tarnished. Trudeau's visit to India has been a colossal failure.
SNC Lavalin is in the middle of a legal fight of its own.
I experienced a consistent and sustained effort to politically interfere.
The allegations are false.
This is not the first time the Prime Minister has been found to have contravened the Conflict of Interest Act.
What I can say now is look at what we've done.
So yeah, right. Pretty decent ad, right? Pretty good ad. Not too bad, not too shabby. And you can see why the left wants to shut it down. Liberals want to shut it down. And the justification that the news was using was something like, hey, we always protect our journalist, and this is why we included her in the document, and it's because we protect them. But protect them from what? What did the video do? Like, it didn't make them seem partisan for one party. What makes them seem partisan is suing the Conservative Party over an ad like this. One of the election moderators, there's a huge conflict of interest. She shouldn't have been allowed to moderate the debates to begin with. And those debates were horrible. Everybody was talking about how great the French debates were because of the way that it was structured, and how people got to actually debate stuff, because it was better, and they know that less people are going to watch the French debates. They don't care, so they purposely butchered the English debates like this, so it doesn't, it has no effect on anything. And you got 5 moderators when just one man, like in the French debate, could do the job easily, or even one good woman moderator could do it if she was making sure people weren't speaking over each other, which a lot of them couldn't even do. They just let it happen regardless. Let the time run out. Everybody got like 40 seconds. It was terrible. But they would have just had what's her name moderating it anyways, Rosie Barton. And then, then the information that they were suing them would have come out afterwards, like it did now. It was pretty crazy. Let's show you guys this. I want to just see this. This is what Forbes is recommending your young daughter go and do. right? So you should send your daughter to Pakistan. Why Pakistan should be on every solo female traveler's bucket list. Like what kind of insanity is this? You know about those girls being beheaded in all these places you guys keep on recommending single girls to go to? This is total insanity. How could they get away with this type of shit? And with a straight face. With a straight face. It's like, you should go and have a vacation in the ISIS caliphate because they make really good food there. It's a booming nightlife in the Islamic State that's in Syria that the ISIS fighters are still kind of in or whatever. Go there and go through the mountains, and just when you see roaming packs of jihadists, make sure you flag them down so they can give you a ride to the next town so you can experience more amazing culture. Just they try to behead and rape you, just say, you're converting to Islam and you hate the West and whatever else, right? And you're trying to replenish their fighting force, because that's probably some of the advice given on here. But I didn't even read the article. I don't even want to read it. Because it doesn't even let me. I've turned off my ad blocker. Now I'm going to turn off my ad blocker to watch this shit. But it looked like a young white woman was the author. I got a quick look at it. A young white woman, so she's probably Jewish or just a complete idiot, or she's one of these dumb female or women that want to prove these racists wrong. Be like, you know what? I'm going to go live in these terrorist places with these people to prove these racists wrong. And what happens every single time they get like butchered, raped, and beheaded? Every single time. Every time. But, go ahead and prove us wrong. That's fine. We need less stupid people on Earth and shit. So maybe it's a good idea. But then again, a lot of kids are stupid when they're younger. So we need to, if your kids are reading this crap, make sure you convince them otherwise. Make sure you ask your daughter where she's going to go on her trip around Europe or the world, because it could be Pakistan if she's listening to these people. Let's see this here. I want to show us one video of the rebel media with the CBC or the CIBC, and they're trying to both ask some questions, and the rebel or the CBC is getting really mad at, I think, Menzies, because he's like, well, you got to ask 2 questions and we all want to ask questions too, and this isn't fair. You gotta let us ask questions. And you're like, nah, fuck you, man. No, you don't get to ask, because you know what? They only want to ask one question. They're going to ask one softball question, and then they're going to try to wrap up the media scrum so that other people can't ask more questions. This is why you see the rebel media and True North run to the front of the pack so they can ask multiple questions. They ask the most questions during these media scrums. You'd think the media would have more questions. They're satisfied with us. So what are you going to do about the climate change? Okay, I won't ask you about all these other things that are coming up in the news. Well, I'm satisfied with this. But you got Andrew Lawton and all these people asking about the groping scandal, asking about all these things that Canadians want answers to, that clearly CBC and these fools don't want you knowing answers, right? They want you to be ignorant and let them be the gatekeepers to information. But here, I'll show you this. It's pretty funny. Made me laugh. All right, this is Rebel Media. I think it's Menzies or something, and then I think I saw Lawton in the corner.
There's many medias.
I think your colleague. That's my colleague Ken, right? Yeah. So,
I mean, just to make sure that every media gets a chance to ask questions.
Oh, you're first in line, right?
Not for me. I'm just asking for everyone else.
I think you're good at
I'm not talking about me. I'm just talking about like, yeah. What I'm saying is that everyone can ask questions.
But you only want us to ask one question. Just
sorry.
I'm
just saying that there's a lot of media.
The two of you will have one question before I have mine. That's his point. Maybe every media could have one before you have two.
Sure. Well, we're just all in line, right? It's one at a time, right?
Yeah. But I'm saying that some medias won't have a question, and you'll have to.
Usually we have none. We have to get a court order, sir, to get in.
I understand everything. I'm just saying that. I mean, we're all here.
Oh yeah, but we were never here. That's the thing. We were until we are here now. But you're telling me not to ask a question because there's two of us.
I'm not telling you not to ask a question. I'm telling you we can all play in a team.
Oh, 100%.
No, it's not 100% since you're not playing in a team right now.
Well,
because some medias won't have questions. That's what I'm saying.
You're too ahead of me in the line.
Where's your
I'm not
colleague?
talking
Your
about me.
colleague
I'm
over there.
talking
Where
about
is she from? People here. TVA. Okay.
Yeah.
Talking about other medias.
But we have been excluded, sir, from the entire campaign until
you're here.
Is that right? I am planning to ask a question.
Two questions.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it depends.
So that's you are planning to ask two questions.
Well,
Jesus Christ. I wonder if the media grilled other reporters for asking two questions before. Oh, you can ask two. This is not fair. You know what? When these events, they have like 50 CBC reporters showing up. So you want 50 CBC reporters asking a question and 5 reporters from the Toronto Star and 5 reporters from here, but they're mad that these people asked 2 questions because, it's like, fuck off, you idiots.
Right. As you know, the Prime Minister has a penchant for not answering questions.
It's question and follow-up, right?
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen?
Yes.
Oh, that'd be
Question and follow-up.
Let's watch for that.
Okay. Why is that a problem or?
Well, it's not great. It's my understanding, actually, that from what I was hearing from the gentleman, that you've got 2 people here, and so you are planning to ask 2 questions, which makes it 4. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What was that?
I'm done here. Thanks.
Okay.
You get to ask 4 questions instead of 2 questions. Oh my God. This is not fair. This is not fair. It's like they weren't even allowed to participate. Like he said, and now they're complaining, and now they're debating what it really means to be a journalist and what it means to have accreditation, and whether the government should be the one giving you accreditation. You're like, fuck these fucking people, man. Everybody hit the like, share, subscribe while you're here. I it's part of the job. I got to remind people. Fuck you, Dino. AJ, how much money have you made off of YouTube? Not a lot. You're going to try to report me or something. When they announced Trudeau, and again, I think they throw away the soft part and admit we are going full communist. When let's vote for Justin Trudeau. Let me check out the chat. Hey, Forbes is pushing the lie equality of nations narrative. Is that what the article is about? Durka, Muhammad Gilad, right? Yeah, Rosie Barton is definitely wet for Trudeau. If anybody's got any questions, throw it in the chat. Highlight my name. AJ, I noticed, this is from Saint Jean d'Arc. AJ, I noticed in the English debate that the same French woman and French guy dominated the question scrum, which really stood out. Yeah, I didn't see that part. I didn't pay too much attention to the French one. My power kept going out that day. I was thinking of covering it, but like I said, my power kept going in and out, and I saw some of the highlights here and there, but I'm so confused at what's this guy's point is. Who, my point? I don't know. Whatever I was talking about, that's my point. Democracy is a poor political system for fighting global warming. Communist China is the best model. Well, don't believe in the whole global warming narrative anyways, and it probably wouldn't be the best solution for climate change anyways, because they don't give a shit. China isn't doing anything about the climate or not trying to address it. And companies and whatever, they'll find a way around. The best way to reduce pollution, to reduce this type of stuff, or to get new technologies that are more efficient, because that's what we should really care about. whatever, fuck the climate bullshit, hysteria nonsense. How do we get technology that is self-sufficient? And you do that through the free market. You do that through freedom. You don't do it through socialism and using the state to force people to buy into companies that may or may not create green technologies. A lot of the times, just a way to get you to give your money to these companies and shit like that. Like, sure, if you threw people in the gulags because they threw a plastic straw in the water, yeah, you could probably do that. But how long could you have that oppressive state? How long can you sustain that, right? You could do it with the Chinese, because the Chinese are people that are just used to being subservient to authority, and they don't have a history of being for freedom or liking to live in free societies with small government. We white people, Europeans, Western Europeans, not so much Eastern Europeans. Sorry, guys. I'm not saying you can't, but I'm just saying mostly they have a history of liking less oppressive states. So what works in China, maybe, and I'm not even going to say it even works, isn't necessarily going to work with us, with our people, with the way that we think, with our sensibilities. The Chinese, they're fine, or a lot of them. They're fine with using the state and oppressing other groups in their country that don't agree with them. But and the leftists are fine with that kind of in Canada too. But a lot of even for some leftists, it's against our sensibilities to kind of use the state in the same manner, or to do the exact same things that they're doing in China, right? We redistribute de facto the world's wealth by illusion that international climate policies and environment. Yeah, exactly, right. It's just a way to redistribute wealthy money to poor countries. This is almost nothing to do with environmental policy. Yeah, it's that's the thing. It's a scam. The environmental policy is a scam. But the thing is, it's like the climate changes. The climate has always changes. We're still in an ice age. We're still in an ice age. So it's probably going to go away completely, the ice age, at one point or another, because usually there are cycles like that. We had a different ice age before. Well, like it was worse 11,000 years ago, but because we still have ice in the North Pole and we still have ice in the Antarctic, that means we're living in an ice age right now. So why do people think the environment is going to stay consistently the same in this type of setting that we have right now? Of course, it's going to change, right? And Max Bernier has the best policy when it comes to this, because he's talking about, hey, let's stop polluting our water systems. Let's stop letting Quebec and these people have a free pass to pollute in our water, which that has been increasing under Trudeau. They're saying, oh, don't use plastic straws anymore, as they keep giving okays for people in companies and different provinces to dump their sludge in our waterways where we fish and swim and get our water from, right? So that is a problem. Winnipeg isn't the most dangerous city anymore. I think we had the murder capital for a little while, but I'm pretty sure we've lost that for a good while now. Maybe we'll take it back at some point. Watching AJ on YouTube lowers your social credit score. Yeah, that's true. AJ, people can't like this video. They can't like the video? That makes sense. Are you sure? Everybody hit the like. Let me know if you can't like the video. Hit one. Put one in the chat, because it looks like some people can definitely like it. I know there were 7 dislikes. Pieces of shit. Hey, Jerry, how's it going? Cripple your enemies. Nations Warfare 101. Chinese construction is the worst on the planet. Yeah, exactly, right? They got buildings just tumbling down. What time will your UFO be picking you up, AJ? I don't know. Probably around 6:30. AJ, do you want to join us on Noble Savages tonight at 8 p.m.? Noble Savages. Yeah, sure, man. If I got time, send me a link. And if I'm not still at my family's place eating dinner and stuff, then yeah, I'd be down to go on. If not, join me guys on my Discord. If nobody's on my Discord yet, I don't promote this too much because I always forget, but this is a good way to reach me because I don't have Twitter. I'm still permanently banned from Twitter. I can never get one again unless I figure out some way to what do you call it, change it, or what do you call it, here, I'm just getting the link. Generate new link. Okay, copy. Okay, so here I'm going to put this in the chat here, guys. So if you want to send me a link or something for an invite or whatever, there you go. There's my link for Discord. Everybody here who's not in it, join it. And that's like I said, another way to reach me. Share stories. You can share some stories in there, something that maybe you want me to cover or to go over. You can share it in the Canadian Roundtable discussion area or politics, or give me a direct message, and then it'll pop up so I can look at that and go over. And I don't check it too often. I check it. I'm trying to check it more often, so I should see your message. Okay, so a couple people have hit one, have shown that they can't hit the like on this video. The U of M students, those are all the 7 dislikes. Smarik, AJ Elicits, would you recommend for someone that can't afford a house in Toronto to move to Winnipeg? You know what? I don't want to give anybody advice when it comes to things like moving and changing your whole life and coming to a new city, and like maybe, but I don't have the expertise enough to confidently tell you this is the best decision for you. But in my opinion, sure, I don't think Toronto is going to get any cheaper anytime soon. I don't think it's going to get any less diverse anytime soon. Now, Winnipeg is getting very multicultural too, though. It's not like you can necessarily escape this to some extent, but it is cheaper. Depending on what type of work you do, I suppose, it might be more feasible for you. If you have work that you can easily transition for work here, because maybe you'll make a bit less, but like I said, the cost of living is a lot less higher. Plus, if you go live outside of the city in one of these small communities, which are really nice, there's Carmen, there's Niverville, there's all these little towns where a lot of white people go to move. Essentially, this was kind of happening, and it's like 20 minutes outside of Winnipeg, but the housing prices are even cheaper there, and it's like you get a nice plot of land. It's it's good neighbors, nice little community. It's got everything you need there. Or you can drive to the city if you really want, to go to Best Buy or whatever, I guess. Or Discord, you're always showing Twitter. You're always showing Twitter, AJ. Oh yeah, well I can show Twitter, but I can't join it. Like I can go on Twitter and I can look up stuff and I can like search up people's name, but I can't have an account where I can follow people, where I can respond. I can go to my old account of Twitter and it'll say like, you are banned and you can't do anything, right? But I can still kind of look at, before I used to show, I could at least go through all the people I could follow. So I'm like, oh, okay, I can check on their individual pages, but now I can only look at a few things essentially, but I can still use Twitter, so I can check the trending hashtags, but I can't actually use Twitter. I think all schools, and especially leftists, should be required to watch a gulag document. Yeah, that I think is true. Instead of making us all learn about how terrible we are and how we're all colonists and we're oppressive and we ruin the native lives and stuff. Well, okay, show us that, but also show the problems with communism and all the people that died in the gulags and all this other shit. Don't just show us all the people that died under Nazism and all the people, all the Jews that died in the Holocaust. Let's show what happened in the Holodomor, right? They're not going to show that because, a lot of the people who were behind it were what? Little hat people, right? So just to say, AJ, why are you so hateful? Because I'm just a hateful person, man. Create a sock account. Well, they banned my IP address, right? So I guess I got to get a VPN and go through all this shit because, they ban, like, they go hardcore with if they ban you nowadays on Twitter. Like, they make you have to put in your number every time you sign in, every fucking week, essentially, like, to confirm who you are. So, you got to go through a lot of shit to get your account back. And I'm just like, fuck this, man. I'm on Gab. I'm on Minds. There's nothing in the description for this episode or for this thing because it's StreamYards. But have you checked out Joe Hazelton's channel? He thinks he has an ego. Yeah, I checked out Joe's, but I haven't really watched too much of his stuff recently. He seems like a pretty good guy, though. Happy white people in the non-existing gulags, right? Fall the Iron Curtain is the biggest lie. You're a party to the deaths helping to repress the truth. Non-existing gulags. Oh, yeah. Okay. I've lived in the country. Create a sock account. Yeah, I read that. 6 million, AJ, don't forget. Oh, yeah, I'll never forget, man. Never forget. Never forget. Everybody hit the like if it allows you to hit the like button. Share, subscribe, all that nonsense. AJ is a left winger. You're right. You're right, Dino. I'm actually paid by the Trudeau government to split the vote for the Conservatives, and this is my true purpose. Like people on the right that are promoting this and saying that this is what the PPC is doing, they're right. And I'm just coming out to tell you, I'm letting you know. So you can clip this and show it around. But no, I'm kidding. That's not true. But I'm sure somebody will still clip it. And be like, see, these YouTubers are admitting that they're trying to split the vote for the PPC or the CPC. National socialism just hasn't been done right, I swear. Right, just like socialism, it's not just never done right? The government website for getting into Canada with points puts what jobs are available to migrants. Why can't they fill positions with Canadian people? I'm sure we have people to work a lot of these jobs. Yeah, you're right. There are often reasons. And I was reading this whole article where it's a whole scam. The trucking business, it's run by Sikhs right now. And I think it was in Calgary or one of these places where essentially they're getting more workers than they need for their companies. They'll have two trucks, but they'll somehow get 6 temporary foreign workers. And they're supposed to look for Canadian workers before they go to this program because it's supposed to exist. If it's only supposed to be there if you can't find another work. But no, that's a complete lie. These immigration consultants are getting paid tons of money to direct people to the trucking business. They're like, students are going up to them and then they ask them for like $40,000. There's this whole Globe and Mail piece on it. I was going to do a stream on it. But then they pay them like $2,000, they pay or $20,000, and they pay the trucking company $20,000, and it's just a way for them to work there to get their citizenship. And none of them have training when it comes to driving these trucks. This one guy, he was like, "Hey man, I was put on icy roads." He's from a hot country. He's never been trained to do all this stuff, and he's like, fearing for his life. The same guy that killed those Humboldt kids was because of this program, the temporary foreign worker program. It's just a scam. And you know what they do? These Indians, because they're Sikhs, everybody's last name is Singh. They're all Singhs. Literally every single one is a Singh. You're like, how many Singhs are like how many what percentage of their fucking population have the last name Singh? Like Do they just take it as something that they all liked, so they all just kind of inherited that name? Or are they all descendants from one fucking guy or something, from their leader? I think they're the first guy in the Sikh dynasty type thing in the 1500s is something Singh. So maybe it became a cultural thing to take his name and that's why there's so many today. Or maybe they're all related. That's possible as well too. Most Europeans are related to Charlemagne. Most Europeans can trace their ancestry to Charlemagne. There's like a good half of us can. A lot of Mongolians and Asians could probably trace their direct ancestry back to the Genghis Khan. And the same goes with these people in their countries. When it comes to their leaders, a lot of people are direct descendants, because the way it worked in these times is, the king, they get to fuck a lot of broads. They get to spread their seed all over the place. And, the kings in Europe at the time, they get to have like tons of wives, or they get to impregnate other people's wives and or have a lot of kids because they have a lot of money, and their kids will survive, whereas poor kids won't survive as much. And then because their kids survive more and have more money, then all of their kids now are going to have more money, have a higher likelihood of surviving compared to the poor people. So over time, you have a massive amounts of descendants from a small group of people, or a dozen people, one, especially in the further back of time you go. If you go in Charlemagne was from the 1200s or something, right? 1300s or even earlier. So it makes logical sense that, yeah, this is true. So I'm like, maybe they're all because of that. Unless they're getting these things, they're becoming truckers just so they can get citizenship to become Canadians. As soon as they become Canadians, they quit the job. But what these guys do is they'll get like 3 of them to sleep in a truck, 2 or 3 of them. So then they do shifts. So they have one guy, Indian guy, driving during the day, and then he goes to sleep. Then the other guy wakes up and drives during the night. So, that also makes it more difficult to compete. Are you going to, you're going to have one group of people that, one company that doesn't have to pay their workers as much, where they have 2 or 3 people illegally working through the night. You have people sleeping, where the other guys are following all the regulations and rules that are put in place. And if they don't, they're going to get fined. There's all these companies that weren't getting fined for all their infractions. They weren't being sued, and they were still getting these temporary worker programs, even though they had like 15, 16 accidents. And then like the regular Canadian companies, they get in one accident and they get sued up the ass, right? So there's this preferential treatment going on, with this cheap transportation that we're getting from India and stuff. But nonetheless, I went off track there. Let me check out the chat here. Okay. Happy Thanksgiving, though, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy white oppressive colonialist day. We got to remember what we did to people. How happy. See, this is the thing too. Gargamel and all these other people, they're under the interpretation or the understanding that a lot of these countries are like socialist nations. Most countries are mixed economies, and in countries like Denmark and a lot of other places, in a lot of ways, they have, a lot of them have very low corporate tax rates. They have actually very free markets in comparison to Canada and to other countries, but they have a huge socialism and welfare safety net. Plus, they don't live, and plus, well, now they're getting a bunch of migrants and stuff in these countries, and they're having to deal with multiculturalism, but you don't have the same problems in a multiracial society that you do in an ethnically homogenous society, where people don't want to take advantage of people because they all think they're the same types of people, right? But If you're living in an ethnic society, then it's you're going to have people coming in with a chip on their shoulder who think, well, it doesn't matter if I use up the system. Well, they're oppressing me, so blah blah blah. And you have some groups using up more than others, and they don't give a shit because they have no allegiance to the people, the country in general. It's just shit. Yeah, yes, you're in my head, Gargamel. And if you keep going, I'll ban you. And I'm the one who's going to be banning you. 9 p.m. at Campus Beer Hall to find the truth about National Socialism. Did Trish family fend off some Vikings like Greta? No, I'm not going to shave my mustache. Not doing it. 90% of men over human history are incels. I don't know. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know enough about history. I don't think that's exactly how it worked. But I think the kings could just bang your wife if they wanted to, and then be like, well, you still have her later after when he's done. So it doesn't mean you're incel. They're mostly cucks. You could say they're all cucks. 90% of them were cucks because they're like have the kings banging their wife or something. No, I'm not going to shave it. AJ can't shave. He's Muslim. I can shave, but I don't want to shave. And Muslims have different beards. You're just jealous. Yeah, the beard has to stay. It is winter in fucking Manitoba here. Yeah, I'll probably look like Khabib from the UFC if I shave my mustache. But what was I going to show? Oh yeah, this fake news here. I don't want to make this stream last too much longer. Fake news. Okay, here. You guys get a whiff of this here. 1 second. Use. I don't know. Can anybody see me right now? Because it's...
This video right here appearing to show Turkey's military bombing Kurd
Shut up.
in a Syrian border town. The Kurds who fought alongside
Sorry,
the US
guys.
against ISIS.
Sorry, guys. You probably... Did it lag there? Was there a bunch of lagging there? Happy Thanksgiving, Point Fire. Thank you for saying that, man. Thank you. Islam is right about AJ's beard. AJ is Christian in denial. Islam is right choice. Picture froze for a moment, but I can see you clear. Okay, AJ has leftover Thanksgiving in his beard. No, it's probably like gray. Frozen for a sec. Project Veritas just dropped. Be right back. Oh yeah, Project Veritas. I think they've been releasing some stuff recently. Okay, let's see here. So, okay, it fucking the video just started playing by itself, but this is pretty fucked up. I don't know. I haven't confirmed this if it's like 100% true. Maybe somebody just spliced a video over ABC and made it look like they were showing this clip. Because that could happen. I'm not saying it can't. Okay, my computer's just fucking slow. All right, should be good here. But here, watch this. Watch this.
This video right here appearing to show Turkey's military bombing Kurd civilians in a Syrian.
But see, this is the same video, the same clip, and this is in America. This is in front of like a shooting range type thing where people are just shooting at, I don't know, barrels of gasoline or whatever in the States. And, they're using the same clip for Syria or ABC.
Syrian border town. The Kurds who fought alongside the
I don't know why it's being all slow either. But
US against ISIS. Now, horrific reports of
you see, it's the same.
committed by
It's the same
Turkish-backed
video.
fighters on those. very allies. Oh, this video.
Well, it's been been slow. Either way, that was it, essentially. But if that is indeed a video from a different event and ABC is just using it, their justification will be like, well, we couldn't get into the war zone, so we just showed it to give you an idea of what's happening. It's not really fake news because there is conflict going on in that region, but we just needed something to show you how it would look like, but we just didn't tell you that we took clips and edited them from a different event that happened in the States. You're like, Jesus Christ. I eat apple pie. Yeah, apple pie is delicious. They are delicious. Yeah, a couple of Project Veritas videos have led to something. I can't remember. A few people have had to resign, or there have been things. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know there actually have been a couple things that have happened because of their videos. But they got sued once, so everything they show is fake news, even though there's complete footage of it, and but they may have edited it. It's people. Liberals will not believe whatever they don't want to believe. It's not. It's no, actually a couple have, but whatever. Being sued. Were they sued for? I think they lost that once, though, right? You could be sued multiple times. Doesn't mean it's justified. But they're not leftist media. So they're sued and won, but whatever. That's the saying. People will leftists and people will believe whatever they want. See, the difference between the right and the left is that I'm able to watch the mainstream media and the news because you're subjected to it most of the time and actually get information out of it, right? But the left, they're in like an echo chamber, right? They're in that bubble where they only watch things that they find are credible, even though ABC has just been shown that they're using a clip from before. That's still gonna like kind of go past their minds. They're gonna completely ignore that, and they're still gonna take ABC and say, well, that's more legitimate. Or there's been the media that has done this countless times, but see, but they can't watch people. They won't even look at Project Veritas because they've already, even if the video is accurate and there's no way that they could actually edit the video to make it look bad because you can watch the whole clip and you're like, there's literally no way. There's nothing they could have said before or after the clip to have fixed what they said. Unless at the very end they're like, just kidding, bud. Which is a complete bull. Holy shit, I'm triggering BM. I just look at the chat. They lost 4 times. They lost. Take a look. Holy shit, man. Calm down. Like, this out. You just mentioned. Holy dude, relax. Like, calm down, man. You talk about how people like their echo chambers and they just like, blah. Like, I'm just talking about how you guys will not look at anything that's not left wing, and you'll find any reason to discredit anything. Like, even though the media discredits themselves continuously, I still look at it. I'll still look at it. AJ is lying. I'm lying. Okay, all right, BM, calm your horses, or I will fucking put you in a timeout. Stop. Don't fucking spurge the chat so all I see is little basketballs when I look to the right. I see basketball in all caps saying, they lost, lied. It's like, stop saying, like, come on, man. Make an actual argument, like write an actual comment. That's cool, man. But stop fucking with the chat and doing that shit because that's really fucking annoying. All you see is just basketballs. So, please calm yourself, man. Like, for fuck's sakes. I don't know why people get so triggered and have to like, no. You know you've gotten to somebody when they're reacting like that to like that speed. Okay, let's see here. I want to share early voting. So, you'll see who they really promote early.
The federal election is on.
Oh, that was really fucking loud. That was really loud. I'm sorry.
October 21st. If you think you'll be away from home or too busy on election day, you can vote early. Advanced polls will be open from October 11th.
A black man and his white wife, right? You'll never see the reverse. You'll rarely see. Okay, you'll sometimes see it.
14th. Check your voter information card or visit
Woman, nurse who works for the government.
elections.ca for all the ways you can vote.
Black man, woman,
For the official
Asian woman.
information,
It's like, the population of Canada is still, we still have like white men in it, and we still have, it's not as diverse as the media makes it out to be. You watch some shit and you're like, are we like 50-50 already? Like, the hell is going on here?
To vote, visit elections.ca or call 1-800-463-6868.
Go out and vote, women. Go out and vote, colored people, because we all know that you're going to vote for the left. And, me saying colored people is going to be taken as a racist or something, but whatever. People of color, whatever you want to call them. Trish voted early. PPC, hope they get a few seats. Yeah, me too. Everybody go vote PPC today, tomorrow. Convince your family. Go today at Thanksgiving dinner and tell your family that, voting for the PPC is the only way to go. Oh, I push fake news and lies. Get out of here. Fuck off, boss man. Go suck my dick. All right, get out of here. Your nonsense. Change the screen. 51% of the population is women, so they're in effect white men are a minority. Burn it all down, right? Well, we still exist. Like, at least can you include us in these commercials when you're telling us to vote? It's like they're just promoting to Richmond, Toronto, and fucking white women. You're like, no white men. That's good, Frederick. Get all those other Asians on WeChat to vote for the PPC too. Say that he's gonna support China or something in their endeavors. Just trick them, man. We gotta trick people. Fuck it. The left plays dirty. Tell all the Asian people, say like, yeah, man, he's gonna, support China and make sure Taiwan keeps their fucking mouth shut. And then when he doesn't, who cares? It'd be like, whatever. We got some seats, and you were gonna vote to replace us anyways. So I don't really care if, she went to the Chungyang University. No pudding for white guys. We are the Russians when you need them to vote. Where are the Russians when you need them to vote PPC? Right. Yeah, exactly. White men don't matter unless the government needs someone to die for another country's issues. And that's the case too, right? They're the ones joining the military. They're the ones getting recruited. That's where the recruits go, into poor areas a lot of the times, and not just white people, people of color and stuff too. Like, yeah, well, exactly. Boss man, he's an idiot. He's just saying that. He'll be back in fucking half an hour or the next stream doing some other nonsense. It's just when I call him out when he like spams the chat and you're like, man, relax. Like, okay, maybe I'm wrong or something. Give me a fucking break. Jeez. But yeah, he's a neurotic Jew. Never dismiss the silent majority. Yeah. Well, he doesn't need to come back to Canada. Expats can vote. So I don't see why he's coming back to Canada to vote. Doesn't make any sense to me. I'm pretty sure you can vote without coming back, right? Or do expats have to fly back to the country in order to vote? I have no idea. Take it from a troll. Don't feed the trolls. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't. But sometimes he's bringing up stuff that I want to address as well. So, oh, okay. Like, Gargamel is pretty trollish too, but whatever. Doesn't matter. I think the AJ Jew Christian lecture at the beginning triggered the Darby Schofield evangelist. Right. He's going to the synagogue, says it all. But no, like BM, from my perspective, he's not like a Zionist or anything like that either. He's kind of like, I don't know what to think. I don't believe him, to be honest. I don't believe a lot of the things he says about himself. I don't believe that he's 23. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I don't know. I just have doubts. But whatever, I'll play your game. I'll pretend. I'll go with it, but maybe. I'm not Jewish, Arab. I'm French, man, 100%. Both my sides are French. He is not a Zionist. I went to school. No, exactly. I agree with you. He's not a Zionist. From what I've seen, he doesn't seem like he plays around. He jokes around with the whole Jew thing, and like he's like, no, how dare you bring that? Like, it doesn't. But he's an educated liberal, right? And so he's gonna get on my fucking nerves because he's educated liberal, right? And I know he just sounds exactly like some other people that I know. This other person that I know very, very well, and it seems like they're fucking identical people. So I can kind of like anticipate what's gonna fucking trigger BM when I say shit or whatever. If it's about white people, then it's gonna be triggering or whatever. AJ is from the loins of Charlemagne. Yeah, I am. See, I am. We're all from the loins of Charlemagne. We're all from Charlemagne, man. Well, not everybody. Okay, only if you're like, well, definitely me, because I'm French and he was French, so there's a higher chance of me being related to him. But like a lot of Europe too, because they just the way because he recreated the Roman Empire, right? So there's like England and all these other places, right? One second here. Oh, sorry. But I don't think I got too much really left I want to discuss. I think I could bring up some other subjects, but let me check out the chat a little bit more here. AJ, do you watch Matt Christensen, Beauty and the Beta? No, I don't. But I should start watching them. I've heard some good things about their channel. AJ, I can trigger anyone on the right by saying a few things that does not make them alike. No, okay. Doesn't mean they're alike, but some people have the same way of thinking that I can just kind of anticipate what they're going to say. Point Fire, same to you. I will be at Christ House to do a stream later tonight. AJ, you are invited. My ancestors are from Cabbage Royala. Did you watch Jagmeet in BC? No, I didn't watch that. It's probably going to be some race baity bullshit nonsense. Thank you to you and your family. So I see what YouTube is doing. I upvote and YouTube removes it. Yeah, I heard a lot of people that they couldn't upvote my video or something, or it's not letting them upvote my video. It's like, what the fuck are they doing, man? It's like I release some videos and it gets like a 200 views or 300 barely or something. You're like, it seems a little different than before, but I don't know. I'm not going to say right away it's that. Who knows? No, you don't. You don't know how to trigger me. I'll address some things people say because sometimes I just hear the same arguments that need to be addressed. But no. It's AJ Turkey Day. AJ. Also, French derogatory term for the new word is frog. Right. White men fight back. Pepe the Frog. All notifications activated. Did you watch Jagmeet and BC conference? Pepe the Frog. But just for saying you can trigger me, I'm going to put you in a timeout. Put user in timeout right now. No, okay, no, I'm joking. Pepe the Frog. Well, what else? What else did I have? Thomas Elliott. Oh yeah, this is funny. But watch, when I show this, I know what Gargamel is going to say. He's going to say, oppressed white male. Watch this. So I don't believe he's white either. I don't believe BM that he's a Jew and that he's a student and that he's a lawyer and that he's moving to America. I think he's like a 40-year-old black dude or something, and probably Gargamel too. I think I don't believe. I just have my gut instincts scream at me and say there's something fishy about these stories. Just something that's inconsistent here, and I'm gonna go with that because my gut is usually pretty right about a lot of shit. Because even white leftists don't go and start being like, oh, you're white this and white that. Like, you know, they have different arguments. They say different things, right? So just judging by that, I don't believe a lot of people who they say they are, right? Fuck off, Jerry. Don't Jerry, you're a piece of shit. See, Jerry's the one who fucking triggers me, and Point Fire and all these other haters. I know you're gonna say stupid shit or gonna disagree with me or whatever. I know a lot. I know enough black people to not think that you're white. Just saying. Maybe you are. I don't know. Maybe you're. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But I doubt your stories. But or I'll play along. Like I said, I'll play along. What was I? Oh yeah, Thomas Elliott. So this is this crazy white woman who's like, yelling at her white colleague because he has an opinion about something.
My opinion on this, Susan, this is. I won't say a word. That's why I like to. You shouldn't have an opinion on that.
I met with constituents of color, and quite honestly, some of the feedback was that some of this wording was ridiculous.
You have been white from birth. Why are you arguing? What is a system of oppression? You've never experienced one.
You've never experienced depression, you fuck. It's like, okay, has this woman really experienced depression? Somebody told her to go back in the kitchen once and to make a sandwich. Well, sorry, but that's where fucking half of you bitches should be, is making a fucking sandwich because you're nuts, okay? Like, is that oppression? No, that's just my fucking opinion. Like, but whatever. Yeah, white man, you feel you're privileged. Everything's for you. This is this lie, right? This lie that, guess what? Especially Canadians, even Americans, most people didn't have slaves, you fucking idiots. They didn't have slaves like doing everything for them. It was hard work to build up a nation. It's not easy to build all this shit. It wasn't easy. It was hard work. Well, the man was slaving and he's throughout all of history. The guy, the white male in Canada and all that, go out to work and do dangerous fucking jobs like I fucking do. and put your life at risk so you have a roof, a literal roof in building you can live in. But I've had to stay in the house and take care of children and not have to face dangers of being out in the elements or falling off of a building or being shot and killed more by police or all this stuff. I've had it so easy. Like, I'm so oppressed. You're like, no, you've had it easy. Women, even before you got the vote and all this other crap, you still had it easy. You still had it easier than men, because sure, men got the vote, but they also got drafted to the army and they had to go and fight and die. And a lot of the women didn't want the vote because they didn't want to be drafted into the army, because they didn't want to go and die. But then they wanted the vote, but they didn't want to be drafted. They wanted the best of both worlds. It's like, just because men had more rights doesn't mean at certain times in history, doesn't mean their life was easier and it was like all just champagne and roses and they had their feet in the air. No, a lot of the times when women committed crimes, it would fall on the role of the husband, or they would have to pay for it. They would have to deal with it. So yeah, they're going to be like, well, yeah, you can spank your wife and you could give her a slap or something, whatever. I'm not saying that's right and we should be doing that again, but I'm saying there's certain things that in history, why people had more authority or more power in certain situations. But generally, it's like, we're not privileged. Yes, we're privileged now. We live in Canada. We live in America. We live in the Western world. But we have a better life than other people have. Not because I don't even see the chat right now, but I know Gargamel's going on about white people stealing shit and all this. That's why I don't believe he's fucking white anyways, but he's probably going on about crap. I don't even see the chat. But we're privileged, in quotes, because our families, our ancestors built a nation. And then I'm going to hear, poor whites didn't build anything. I'm not even seeing the chats, right? But I already know the responses are coming from his mind, because I can tell you, I can already predict these types of things. But it was these people that created the country, the nation itself, that built it up from absolutely nothing. It wasn't easy. Canadians didn't have slaves. We didn't enslave natives to go build everything for you, like, for fuck's sakes. But whatever. Let's see what the rest of this raging feminist has to say. Okay, I have to, what do you call it? Refresh it, because it's not working here.
Hear what you have to say.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm serious. Jim, why do you have an opinion on this?
Come on, Susan. Susan, this is.
Why do you have an opinion on
I won't
this?
say a word. That's why I like to.
You shouldn't have an opinion on that.
I met with constituents of
Yeah,
color,
but
and honestly,
on
some of the
equity.
feedback was that some of this wording was ridiculous. No.
You have been white from birth. Why are you arguing? What is a system of oppression? You've never experienced one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So shut up. I don't want to hear from you. Just stop. Just stop, Dan. Stop, Dino. You are not oppressed. And people in Oak Park are. And we are trying to recognize that as a community.
Mm-hmm.
This mayor and this board is obviously not willing to face history. We have a chance to make history. It is time for this community to face equity. Enough. And you stop it. You are a white male. You stop it. You are a white male. Your skin is light enough. Stop it.
I gotta let.
Your skin is white enough. Stop it. He's like, I'm not a white male. I'm not a white. Stop it. Your skin is white enough.
I think if we.
So what is there a one drop rule for white people now, or you're white enough? You get to pass. You pass as white.
Reduce these conversations to nobody cares what you have to say because you're a white male. I don't think we're doing this right.
But they are. But they are, man. They are doing it right. It's just delusional fucking woman. How she acts, how she reacts because a white man has an opinion. Like you got to be totally insane to think like that. But people have been what do you call it? Brainwashed. Unfortunately, most women cannot even make a sandwich nowadays. Yeah, I make some good sandwiches. I'm a red flagged reintegrated infidel. It's therapeutic. That's from Point Fire. AJ Lauren doesn't want white women. No, I like white women. You will stay single on that comment. No, I won't stay single. Nah, a lot of women like the way I speak. Are you saying AJ likes big butts? Well, yeah. Who doesn't like big butts? But a lot of white women have big butts too. Such good slaves. You thought we were free. Sabaton, the price of a mile. Some woman, white man under attack. You live in my head. Gargamel, virtual fist pump. Morgan Freeman voice. Now calm down. No plumbing before settlers got here. I'm single because I can't find women who want to be a housewife. Gargamel lives to give head. Well, yeah, that's definitely true. Menopause is a difficult time. Gargamel, stop touching the chat, okay? We don't need that shit in here. Did you see Blind Press's recent stream on Canadian politics as a union? I facepalmed harm. No, I have not seen that. Kittens are AJ's alpha. Oh, thank you, Lauren. Did she just physically assault him too? Yeah, well, I don't know, but she was angry as shit. She's like, "Shut up! You're white. You're white enough. That means your opinion is squat, useless. We finally have a voice, and you need to shut up and go in the corner because you're privileged and you're white male." And like, you see the anger she has. I'm like, okay, calm down. Was your dad not around? Did he beat you or something? What is the fucking issue, woman? But this is what brainwashing does to a person. Normally it's not how people should be to their men, to their mates, naturally, to the other sex. Just so angry and hateful. It's like, man, the patriarchy is a part of society. Women like to listen to men, and they like them to be in charge of shit. They want that stuff a lot of the times. They like it. Nobody wants women don't want to live in a matriarchy. It's bullshit. And I'm not going to say you be like a complete, just tell completely what to do, obviously, but they want somebody to be able to say, like, shut up. Those old 1950s movies that you see, those were the good times when you could, she's acting up, and you go and you're like, enough. I'm kidding. I'm joking. You could pass as an ISIS fighter. Oh yeah, I'm ISIS, right? And hide a fake Lauren Southern. You're not. If you call me ISIS, I will ban you from the chat. I will ban you from the fucking chat. You fucking piece of shit. No, but yeah, I gotta shave my beard a little bit. But nonetheless, a lot of people can't grow a beard either. So I'd rather be able to grow a beard than somebody who can't grow a beard. Because then it's like, how European really are you if you can't? How much Asian DNA do you got in you? You can use. I get the beard. I can do it. Cat, yeah, my cat's being a little bastard, full of hate. Yeah, okay. Let's see. What is this other video? Okay, I want to show this little clip here. So this is during the campaign where Trudeau was wearing security, right? What cat? My cat's being a bastard. So why was there no security at the doors if it was such a crazy event that Trudeau had to wear a bulletproof vest, right? Why was there no security? Fucking stupid cat making sure that there was nobody bringing guns into the place. Because first of all, why you just let the public not be protected? So it's just Trudeau we got to worry about. Who cares if a few innocent civilians get shot in the crowd? The show must go on. But it was clearly a publicity stunt to try to throw more hate or try to create this narrative that there's violence brewing, and then Trudeau is a victim, and there's far right rhetoric and violence increasing in Canada, all that nonsense. But why was there no security, making sure nobody was entering into the building? Why, where it was nobody else told to I don't know, go behind like 50 feet of glass or something? Like, I guess the safety of the 400 Canadian citizens doesn't really matter, right? So it's clearly a publicity stunt. Cats taste good. You're gonna get banned for that, goat man. You're gonna get banned for that if you say cats taste good again. That crosses the line. Someone punched that fembot out. I know, right? I don't condone violence here. Don't condone violence. Everybody hit the like button if it allows you to. That would be nice. These fucking bastards, just don't want to do it. But this is a scam. This whole nonsense bullshit that Trudeau is facing violence. I'm sure there's more people saying stuff like he's a traitor and he's a traitor to Canada, and if I had my opportunity I would take him out. I'm sure there are some people that do say that shit, probably more so because he is like, come on, if you keep fucking over a country, you keep ruining people's jobs and their lives and all that, well, yeah, you're gonna have a few people that are gonna get a little bit angry. But I don't think this was something of it. But this is another thing I want to bring up. Election Canada data shows 25% increase in advance voting compared to 2015. So that's pretty crazy. Everybody get out and vote, because we know for a fact somebody is getting out there. So this could mean a bunch of non-voters are going out there now and they're starting to vote. It could also mean, we got a lot of expats voting as well as non-citizens voting, or maybe just more people are encouraged to go vote and want to do it, feel like there's a need to do it. But I've heard from a few people where they're just vouching people, right? They're vouching and say for like 5-6 people and saying like, oh, they don't have idea, but don't worry, they're good. And I don't know the punishment for illegally voting, but I'd have to look into that, because if it's not severe enough, then you're probably going to get some people who are going to lie, because why wouldn't they? It's beneficial for them to vote for the Liberals too, because they know they're going to get increased immigration, all this other nonsense. So, you already have these permanent residents working on campaigns, trying to get people to vote for the NDP or the Liberals and shit. So, but I fly to China. I eat babies. I don't eat babies. Retract that. That's what Basti whatever said. I didn't ban Boss Man. Shut the fuck up, Barb. I'll ban you, man. I didn't ban Boss Man. He just left. He said he's going to peace out because I'm I don't know, mean or something. I can't remember. Yeah, we need to drink young blood to stay young. AJ, get a dog. Filling cats common. Get a dog. I don't know what you meant there. I'm from the land of sinners. But, I think that I think I'm about done, guys. I got to go do Thanksgiving dinner with the family and all that other nonsense. Eat some chicken or turkey. But I want to thank everybody for joining. I appreciate that. Hit the like, subscribe, share. These videos are not getting as much traction as I think they should be, or before. So if you can share it to Twitter and share it to Canada hashtag, like hashtag Canada, or share it to your Facebook or whatever, that helps a lot. Or whatever, I appreciate it. AJ, will Greta get the red carpet treatment? Probably. Well, I don't know. There's this whole movement about she's probably too white. She's too white. And now there's all these people saying it's racist because they're not promoting like indigenous girls and activists, and they're all focusing on this white girl and all that. So it's kind of like, you know, the whole Greta thing, it can only last for so long. Like they can only, it's only gonna, it will fizzle out, because the problem with her compared to other activists is that she can't fly around the country without looking extremely hypocritical, right? She can't fly to America, to Canada. She can only do this so much, because otherwise, if she's flying everywhere, then it would just look too bad. It would look too hypocritical. So, you know, this only has so much playroom because she can only boat to places, essentially. So it's not going to last for very long. No, I wouldn't convert to Islam. But, you know, in that situation, who knows? Maybe I'd be like, but no, I wouldn't convert to Islam. Thanks. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a safe journey. Don't overstuff yourself. I'll try not to, Trish. Thank you for that, though. Cat detects a demon. Greta should not live in Winnipeg. Your girlfriend's she's probably not hot. She's probably ugly as shit. She's probably ugly as shit. No, I'm kidding. I don't want to insult her. She had nothing to do with this. You know I hate you. What is a 3? Oh yeah, I was gonna read that I eat babies thing again. I don't want to accidentally do that. Ban turkey. It's not halal. That's true. Well, depending on how you kill it, right? I've seen halal turkey in the grocery market. Pretty sure I've seen it. But either way, guys, thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it. And I hope you all have a good night, or a good Thanksgiving, and a happy racist, colonialist day too. No, don't forget how horrible your ancestors are too, and how terrible they are. I think that's an important time of year. This we need to remember that, because we need to feel bad. But other than that, guys, have a good day and take it easy. See ya. Peace out.